not forsake me, oh my darling. On this our wedding day.
High noon in the Big Apple, and you're looking live at sold-out Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where Danny White and the NFC's champion Dallas Cowboys hope to take Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island by storm and shatter the Giants' dreams. But New York will counter with a savage defense, led by their strong rookie linebacker, Lawrence Taylor.
We're heading into Destiny's Weekend with a close-up of young Mr. Taylor, who some say is Rookie of the Year. We'll review the strange history of the Cowboys' Anthony Dickerson. Jimmy the Greek looks at the Giants, the Jets, and New Yorkers with visions of Subway Super Bowl dancing in their heads. Irv's on the field at the stadium. The stores will be open late, everyone, so gather around. It's coming right at you on the NFL Today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by the 1982 Volkswagens. Nothing else is a Volkswagen. And by True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name. It's our way of doing business. And now, Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL Today and the start of a marvelous showdown final weekend around the National Football League. And, of course, Phyllis, this begins our countdown to the Super Bowl in Pontiac.
Well, let's remind everyone the Super Bowl's on January 24th at the Silver Dome, Pontiac, Michigan, and cold and chilly Detroit, but we're expecting a hot game. If this weekend is any indication of the teams that will be playing there, just a bit of trivia. Monty Clark's birthday is on January 24th.
What could be a more appropriate present than to wind up in the Super Bowl with the home field advantage? Now, immediately after the Dallas-New York Giant football game, we've got NCAA basketball featuring Georgetown against the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and defending champ Indiana playing Kansas State. And, you know, there are the usual assortments of what-ifs scrambling the NFL playoff picture this weekend. Now, in the NFC, San Francisco, Dallas, and Philly are in. Now, tomorrow's winner of the Tampa Bay-Detroit game qualifies, and if the Giants beat the Cowboys today, they would make the playoffs if either the Packers lose to the Jets or the Eagles fall to the St. Louis Cardinals. Over in the AFC, Cincinnati, Miami, Buffalo, they've all made the playoffs. Now, the Jets will join them if they beat the Packers tomorrow, and Denver would complete the AFC playoff picture with a victory over Chicago in Soldiers Field. Now, earlier this week, a specter stretched across the NFL playoff picture. San Diego quarterback Dan Fouts refused to pay his union dues. When the NFL Management Council was told about that by Ed Garvey's Players Association, it threatened to suspend Fouts from Monday night's game against Oakland. A San Diego fan paid Fouts dues of $1,122, but both sides stood firm.
Well, the Players Association believes that every player in the National Football League should pay his fair share of the cost of negotiating a collective bargaining agreement and the cost of administering it. After all the players get all the benefits, whether they belong or not.
Well, I haven't paid dues for a couple of years now, and it's strange that this has happened at all.
You know, my reaction was one of being stunned and then, of course, being outraged, especially at the timing of this.
Well, we've never had a player refuse. We've sent notices to them and told them that it's time to pay your dues, and they've all done it. Dan Fouts was the first one who said he wouldn't. The club backed him up, and so it was really a test between the Management Labor Committee and Gene Klein. Since the fans stepped in and paid his dues for him, no one knows the outcome that would have occurred had he not paid, but our suspicion is that he would have paid before the game on Monday, or he wouldn't have played.
I can tell you that my mind is concentrating on the Oakland Raiders and the job ahead of us there. And really, that's all I've been thinking about and all I'll continue to think about.
As far as Dan Fouts, we think it's pretty much of a closed book at this point.
And back to the ifs for the weekend. If Dallas wins today, and if San Francisco loses to New Orleans tomorrow, Dallas then would be the host for the NFC Championship game if both teams make it that far. Now, that is no small consideration for the Cowboys this weekend, who remember the treacherous turf of San Francisco's Candlestick Park.
So does Atlanta's William Andrews, who didn't make the cut, and the Falcons fell 17-14. Rob Carpenter slipped, and so did the Giants, 17-10. But don't both teams play on the same field?
Playing on a field like that, you have to just go out there and run.
When Dallas last visited Candlestick, Danny White found heavy going, and the 49ers sank the Cowboys. Tony Dorsett had a miserable day.
If you bring Tony Dorsett in here, it's going to hurt him bad.
Well, what about the Cowboys' motivation today? Irv Cross is standing out there shivering in the Meadowlands where it is extremely cold today. And Irv, I understand you've got Pat Donovan of the Dallas Cowboys with you.
Brent, I do, but it's 23 degrees here right now with a wind chill factor of about 12 degrees. The way it feels now, I think it's going to get colder, but Donovan told me he likes the cold weather.
You get bundled up. It doesn't bother my speed a bit because I've got none.
Pat, what kind of an incentive do the Cowboys have coming in this game today?
Well, in the offensive line, we've got a tremendous incentive in trying to get Tony Dorsett the rushing championship for the year. You got to go into the playoffs with momentum, and I think that's what we're thinking right now.
I notice you're wearing blue jerseys. Is that the Cowboys jinx or not?
Not the new ones. We've had pretty good luck with the new ones. I think we're 2-1 with the new ones, so we're doing better than we did last year anyway.
All right, coming into this game, how do you assess the New York Giant football team? Do you really fully expect that, football fans around America are wondering, can the Giants really fully beat the Dallas Cowboys?
In every way, yeah. They are a much improved team from the team we played earlier. It's late season, and as you know, teams change a tremendous amount during the year. You can throw out the first half of their year, and in the last half, they're playing outstanding football.
Pat, Coach Landry said he's going to let Tony Dorsett go today to get that NFC rushing championship. If the game gets rough, he gets banged up a little bit, will he put him out?
I don't think he will. We need to play this game just like a playoff game because that's what you need to play from now on.
Pat, good luck. Thanks a lot. Brent?
All right, Irv, stay warm out there.
Yeah.
Phyllis, it's cold in the Meadowlands.
I wish we were there, though. I think that looks like a lot of fun. That's real football weather. But that front four, Dutton, Martin, Too Tall, Jones, and they're going to be tough. Randy White, they're going to be tough today against the Giants.
The NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Now you can ring up terrific savings on the best mileage car in America. Make a deal on an 81 Diesel Rabbit, and Volkswagen of America will send you a check for $525. Or on the best mileage truck, the 81 Diesel Pickup, and you'll get a check for $645. That way you get the diesel engine option at no extra cost. Where do you go for these savings? To your Volkswagen dealer, now through December 31st.
For a unique holiday gift you can give to anyone or everyone, get the Polonex Dial Massage Shower Head for just $9.99 as True Value Hardware Store's December Hardware Value of the Month. It makes showers exhilarating because it dials any of 4 water actions: fine spray, coarse spray, wide angle, or pulsating massage. And at $9.99 while supplies last, you can afford to get a Polonex Dial Massage for yourself. From True Value Hardware Stores and Home Centers displaying this banner.
Give that name.
Well, I wasn't around when they made the original, but as long as I've been drinking Pabst, it's been the same beer, the same original taste to me.
They put their pride in there. Anybody that can make a beer like that, they have to have pride.
They know how to make beer. It holds true with anything. The longer you do something, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Blue Ribbon Beer.
Historians tell us that fans' fascination with pro football's defensive teams exploded with the emergence of linebacker Sam Huff and his New York Giant troops of the early 1960s. And today, you are going to see Giant linebacker Lawrence Taylor pillaging the Cowboys, and as Irv tells us, making history of his own.
Football fans throughout the years have always rallied around one man, the linebacker, the enforcer. In Chicago, the Bears' Dick Butkus, the monster of the Midway, lived by one motto: might makes right. Ray Nitschke, the iron fist of the Green Bay Packers, led them in a triumphant march of world championships. Jack Lambert was the heavy metal in the steel curtain of Pittsburgh. All three men personified the heart and soul of their team, echoed by the support of their fans.
But here in the Meadowlands, there hasn't been much to cheer about. But with the emergence of a new star who plays with the intensity of the legends of yesteryear, the Giants are playoff contenders for the first time in over a decade. He's a force of one. His name, Lawrence Taylor.
I went to the movies and saw Superman 1, and I went to the movies and I saw Superman 2. But then I said to myself, I said, now I'm playing with Superman 3, and that's Lawrence Taylor.
I really don't think he knows just how good he is right now. We see it. He's very aggressive, very smart, tough, super athlete.
He's meant an awful lot to our football team. He's had a great impact on our football team. And, I've already made the statement, I'll make it again, that he's the best young player that I've ever seen at any position as a rookie.
I love to be an intimidator. They tend to look over at me and I'll be smiling at them or I'll wink at them. I get myself instantly psyched up. I'm ready to go. Anybody get in my way, I'm going to try to run over them and get around the best way I can. But if I do spring loose and I see the quarterback, it's like a smile inside myself, I say, hey, I got him. To me, that's like, I like sweet potato pie. That's like having, the sack's like having a big slice of sweet potato pie. And when you score a touchdown off it, it's like having it a la mode, Everybody's related over a big play like that. One day, maybe, 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, possibly I could be the best linebacker in the NFL.
He's ferocious, man. He's ferocious. I mean, he just runs over people. I mean, like they're not there. If you can imagine it. Have you ever hit a wet towel? Whack. That's how he hits people. He hits whack and just keeps going like they're not even there.
This weekend has to be the biggest game for you ever as a pro, Lawrence, going against the Dallas Cowboys. How do you plan to stop that potent offense?
I hope they pass the ball 90 times. That way I can get back there about 45. I like to meet, Danny White in the backfield a little bit. We can shake hands or talk over some, strategy, see where we're going after the game, something like that. He's a young Harry Carson.
The Black Dick Buckus.
Along with Superman 3, they are also calling him Godzilla out there at Giant practices these days. But you will not find a tougher matchup in the NFL than the one between Ed Kroke and George Huddleston. It's a mano-mano, no holds barred. Now, if those two names aren't familiar to you, Ed Kroke is the Giants' Director of Media Services, and he is throwing publicity blocks for Taylor as Rookie of the Year. But Huddleston is the PR Director for the San Francisco 49ers, and he leaves no publicity release unchecked in pushing for Ronnie Lott as the top defensive rookie of the year. Now, Lott has intercepted 3 passes for touchdowns, an unheard of total for a rookie in the NFL this year. And the 49ers say that he should be the defensive rookie of the year. Irv Cross, let me put you on the spot now. If you had the vote, who would you go for, Taylor or Lott?
Well, first of all, I love defensive players, Brent. You know that. I played defensive back myself, and therefore my heart leans towards Lott. But I'll tell you, I have never, ever in my life seen a rookie like Lawrence Taylor. He weighs 245 pounds, watered down from 252, hits like a Mack truck. I think he gets my vote.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. And somewhere Hugh Green and George Rogers are saying, hey, guys, what about us? And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Dear Atari Anonymous, ever since my husband Luno returned from Earth with Asteroids, the new Atari home video game, he and the rest of the family do nothing but play Asteroids. Luno says Asteroids is good practice for his interplanetary flights. Bitty bitty, bitty bitty. Tell me, dear Atari Anonymous, with everybody hooked on Asteroids, what on earth is a poor Martian mother to do?
The new Asteroids home video game, only from Atari.
Wang announces the most important step in managing information since the computer, WangNet. WangNet is the electronic connection that gives anyone in your office any kind of information they need instantly by linking together every conceivable kind of office equipment, no matter who makes it. WangNet links you to floors below or satellites above, using just half its capacity, leaving room, of course, for Wang's next breakthrough in office automation.
Look at me. Do you like what you see? Good. Because it's not me. It's a recording of me on new Memorex videotape. This remarkable tape has been recorded and re-recorded 100 times, but I bet you still couldn't tell if it was Memorex or me, which really isn't me. It's Memorex. New Memorex videotape. Even after 100 recordings, you'll wonder, is it live or is it Memorex?
Tom Landry says he's surprised the Dallas Cowboys have done so well this season. He gives much of the credit to an improved defense, and part of that story is the flowering of a player whose bright future recalls some Cowboy disappointments of the past. Texas Stadium and the Dallas Cowboys, the cavalry of the National Football League Western Frontier. To their fans, they are the good guys, always wearing white, always shining bright, even on the darkest of days. But in reality, the sun doesn't always shine on Dallas' star. In the early 70s, Dwayne Thomas earned the nickname Mr. Trouble for the problems he caused. In the mid-70s, reserve quarterback Clint Longley was run out of town after he punched Roger Staubach in a locker room brawl. And as the decade closed, Thomas Hollywood Henderson established himself as the #1 Cowboy black sheep. In light of this, one has to wonder why, last year, the Cowboys signed free-spirited free agent Anthony Dickerson, a self-proclaimed misfit.
I was sort of spoiled more or less when I was in college because I was on a scholarship and athletes got the royal treatment as such. But then when I went from junior college to a major college, I wasn't getting the same treatment, I guess. I was kind of stepping down, and I didn't want to step down.
Instead of stepping down, Dickerson stepped out, quitting SMU after his junior year. He headed north to Canada, where on the field he was a success, but off he had problems and was cut by 2 teams. With no football to turn to, Dickerson tackled the real world. He was working odd jobs at this airport in Los Angeles when he decided to relaunch his football career with the Cowboys.
He had a year out of football, and we felt that maybe now he would have a different perspective on what life was all about.
I saw what other people really put up with and how easy I had it in life. I kind of adjusted that every day's not going to be roses, but if it wasn't for the bad days, you wouldn't know the good days.
This season, Dickerson's career has taken off. Tom Landry appointed him special teams captain, and he's playing so well, management expects him to break the starting lineup when D.D. Lewis retires. But football isn't the only thing blossoming in Anthony's life.
Let it blossom, let it grow in the sun.
I started performing when I was about 5, and I continued until I was about 18. My father's a farmer, and I kind of wanted to carry on the tradition, but there's really no land anymore hard for outside farming, so I just went indoors. I enjoy this like I enjoy football. That's about all I think about, my enjoyment, how I'm enjoying my life and how I'm spending my time. This is a corn plant. It's pretty much from South America. It's if you notice, it's the same as a corn plant, a vegetable that has food, except this one doesn't grow any fruit. This is a Hawaiian Schefflera. It's from Hawaii. It's a low-light plant. Grows maybe about a couple of feet tall. This is a low-light palm. It doesn't give you much trouble. And it's basically one of my favorites. Remember, your plants have to eat like you eat, and it wouldn't hurt to water them maybe once a week and feed them maybe twice, 3 times a month. And that's Anthony's Corner.
This Christmas, I'm giving my wife something special. Warren Beatty. Am I crazy? Nah. This is an RCA video disc. I put it in an RCA video disc player, and I can give my wife her favorite movie. Or my kids, The Muppets. Or me, Rocky, James Bond, Airplane, Ali, or 100 more. Starting as low as $15. And the player costs less than $500. And next Christmas, I can ask for Chinatown, Raging Bull.
Bring the magic home on RCA.
This diesel engine is what makes the Volkswagen Rabbit and Pickup the best mileage 81 car and truck in America. Right now, make your best deal on either one. And Volkswagen of America will mail you a check for the suggested retail price of the diesel engine option. What that really means is you get a diesel at no extra cost. So you can save hundreds of dollars now and hundreds of dollars a year on fuel down the road if you get to your Volkswagen dealer by December 31st.
I've got $100,000 in this rig, and I protect my investment with Kendall Motor Oil. So when my son asked,
"This isn't a big rig like Dad's, but it's a big investment for me." So I took Dad's advice and protect my investment with Kendall Superb 100 gas-saving motor oil. Its special friction fighters keep my car running smooth and help save gas. You don't have to have a lifetime of experience to have confidence in Kendall. Just a smart dad.
Protect your investment with Kendall Confidence.
Jimmy the Greek is sponsored by Dutch Masters. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
For more than a decade, New York's pro football fans have been singing strictly the blues. But Jimmy the Greek tells us the tempo is upbeat this weekend. Give my regards to Broadway and New York, New York. It's one heck of a town.
Hey, this is New York, a city that never slows down. But each day of this weekend, this city will stop to watch both of its teams go for the playoffs.
I'm going to pray and watch them, keep my fingers crossed and my toes crossed, hope they dance well, and carry the ball across the line.
It means for New York a big thing for us.
But it wasn't always like this late in the season. The last time the Giants were in the playoffs was 18 years ago. The last time for the Jets after the championship year. And oh my, how these fans have suffered since.
It's the right place, wrong people. I should have stayed home and went to bed. Friends lead me astray. I should have been here yesterday. New York, gotta know about you.
We've been waiting for a long time and they're gonna do it.
I've been rooting for the Giants from the day that they were formed.
A lot of years, and we'll finally come. Now we got it. They got a pass rush, they got a team now.
Well, let's hope the Jets win it, and maybe if they slide in, we got a nice little thing going for New York.
The 8-7 Giant fortunes took off when they came back to beat Philadelphia last month 20-10. The 9-5-1 Jets got going for real this season after starting 0-3, then pummeling Houston 33-17 in late September. What's done it has been a solid defense, good all-around play, and spirit, both on the field and in the stands.
But the real heroes here still have to be these fans. They come out here and they can't even move around. They just have to kind of sit here and take it all day. And these that are still here, they have to be some of the toughest people in the world. They're amazing.
This is the first time ever that two New York football teams, three if you count the 10-5 Buffalo Bills, have still been in contention this late in the year. Remarkably, people are actually talking about the chance of both teams making it and playing in the first Subway Super Bowl. I know one man who wouldn't be at all surprised.
There were those who didn't believe that the Giants and the Jets could do it. I always believed.
The Greek is out in the Meadowlands, and Jimmy, what sort of a chance do you give the Giants against the tough Cowboys?
Brent, they've got a real great chance because they've got a great defense and, of course, in a great kicking game. But everybody forgets one thing about the Cowboys. They must win today and hope that San Francisco loses tomorrow so that they can have the home field advantage, which they want very badly. Now, if the Giants had a white and two wide receivers like the Dallas Cowboys have, they'd have a better chance. I'm going with the Cowboys.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much. And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Today, when many makers are taking quality out of their cigars, Dutch Masters is putting more in. Many others have switched to manufactured wrapper that isn't all tobacco. But Dutch Masters still grows premium leaf to age into our famous light-colored natural Claro wrapper. And now Dutch Masters is enriching its blend with Havana seed tobaccos. We're putting more quality in so you get more pleasure out. Dutch Masters Panatellas, naturally worth more.
In the spirit of the season, Phyllis has a kind of Christmas story for you now. It is about the exchange of gifts.
It begins in the country outside Stamford, Connecticut. This is the Villa Maria Education Center, and this is Sister Carol Ann, a Bernardine Franciscan nun, with her special education class of children who suffer learning disorders. Class treasures include a New York Giant hat, a football autographed by the Giants, even a Giant locket. Giant coach Ray Perkins is impressed by the sister's work, so much so he's designated her honorary assistant coach, and she uses football as a teaching tool.
When they learn about verbs, we put up the one the football player ran. Then later on they learn about adverbs, and the football player ran swiftly, and that's their clue word for adverbs. The football player ran swiftly down the field goes up after we learn about prepositions, and then he scored a touchdown, gets up there after we learn about pronouns.
A gifted artist, she designed the Giants Christmas card, inspiring this message from Coach Perkins.
So I just love to wish the kids at the school and all the sisters there, and especially Sister Carol Ann, a very, very joyous and Merry Christmas.
Oh, she does some great work, doesn't she, Phyllis?
She really does, and it's nice to see him looking so pleasant.
So sit back and enjoy now, because High Noon is ready to begin out of the Meadowlands. It's the Giants and the Cowboys, New York with a chance to get into the playoffs, and at halftime, Jack Whitaker will reintroduce you to one of the great legends of the Dallas Cowboys, Bob Lilly. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL today. For Phyllis and Jimmy and Irv Cross, I'm Brent Musburger. So long for now.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.
Bill.
What?
That's my name.
Abandoned and institutionalized for 46 years, Bill was thrust back into a world that didn't care until he met a very special person.
He just needs somebody to just reach out and help him.
This is the inspiring story of a remarkable friendship and how it changed Bill's life. Mickey Rooney stars in what may be the most powerful performance of his career. Bill, a dramatic holiday special, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
That was pretty good.
This is CBS.
In Colombia, South America, it is a tradition to celebrate the Day of the Farmer. To celebrate for men like Juan Valdez, who for centuries have gone to the fields to pick by hand only the coffee beans that are ready. Because it is their dedication to the heritage of Colombian coffee that makes it the richest coffee in the world. And that is worth celebrating.
Suits any man. Gray Flannel Cologne by Jeffrey Bean.
Two Guys is saying goodbye forever to 17 stores in New Jersey and Long Island. Now you can save 40 to 60% and more on everything in 17 stores. That's right, savings of 40 to 60% and more on everything. Two Guys has emptied their stock rooms and storage areas, and millions of dollars worth of merchandise still remains that must be sold. First come, first serve. Hurry in today to Two Guys' amazing goodbye sale going on right now at 17 stores, and save 40 to 60% on everything. Union, Lodi, North Bergen, Kearney, Toms River, and Jersey City are not included in this sale.
The Warner Wolf Show, Tuesday at 7:30.
1963. Remember Wyatt Tittle, the quarterback of the Eastern Conference champion New York Giants, throwing to the likes of number 80, Joe Walton. These were the Giants of Tittle and Huff, of Robustelli, Gifford, Webster. Number 85, Del Shopner, and yes, of Summerall. They had made it to the NFL championship game 6 times in the 8 years between 1956 and 63. But it's been 18 years since their last postseason game. Today, led by rookie sensation Lawrence Taylor, the Giants come to the final game of the season with playoffs still a possibility. They stayed alive last week in St. Louis as Taylor hounded Cardinal quarterback Neil Lomax. Watch the right of the screen as number 56 causes the first quarter fumble that started the Giants toward a 20-10 victory. This afternoon, they need another victory. This time against the mighty Dallas Cowboys.
CBS Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the National Football Conference. Today, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants.
You're looking at one of the great football arenas in this country, Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey on a cold, windy, blustery afternoon. The house is sold out, but really there's no need to tell you that because it always is. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall, and for the first time, I guess, in the history since there have been Giants and Jets, tomorrow Giant fans will be rooting for the Jets. That is indeed if they beat the Dallas Cowboys this afternoon and keep their playoff hopes alive. Then the Jets must beat the Packers, or St. Louis must beat the Philadelphia Eagles to get the Giants into the playoffs. And believe me, there's been a lot of talk about that this week around this great city. Working with me, of course, is the former Super Bowl champion coach of the Oakland Raiders, John Madden. The Dallas Cowboys come into this game having a slight chance of having the home field advantage in their battle against San Francisco. They must win today and hope that San Francisco loses to New Orleans tomorrow. So, with that in mind, John, how does Tom Landry of the Cowboys approach this game?
I know exactly how he does it. Tom Landry tells the Cowboys, look, there's only one way to play this game, that's give everything you have, play all out on every play. You know, good teams, and the Cowboys are a good team, they don't need a reason to win. They always play as well as they can, and I'm sure they'll do that today. So if the Giants win, they're going to earn it. There'll be no gifts today, Pat.
As I mentioned just a minute ago, John, it's a cold and windy day. Temperature just moments ago was 23 degrees, and they're talking about winds later on in the afternoon of up to 25 miles an hour. The Giants will kick off. Dallas will receive. James Jones back deep. The Giants won the toss, John, and chose to kick off. And so they feel at least that wind will definitely be a factor.
You know, 2 weeks ago, the same thing happened in the Ram game. The Rams kicked off.
Hello. High in the direction of Jones at the 9. Jones stays on his feet out to the 25 of the Giants special teams who were introduced at the start of this game, and they're led by the sensational rookie Lawrence Taylor, first to make the hit. Here is the Dallas Cowboys offensive backs and receivers. Andy White, the quarterback. Dorsett and Ron Springs, the runners. Tony Hill and Drew Pearson, the wide receivers. The offensive line, Dupree, the tight end, and the rest of those familiar names, Donovan, Scott, Rafferty, Peterson, and Jim Cooper. It'll be 1st and 10 Dallas at their own 26 against a very tough defense. 2 tight ends, Cosby on the right, Dupree on the left. Dorsett shooting for the NFL's rushing title to get the first shot. About a yard. Bill Neal, the first man to make the hit on Dorsett. Neal, just named to the NFL's all-rookie team. Here's the defense. Martin, Neal, and Jeter. The linebackers, 2 of them in the Pro Bowl. Hunt, Kelly, Carson, and Taylor. Taylor and Carson in the Pro Bowl. The secondary, Haynes, Jackson, Courier, and Beasley Reese. 2nd and 10, no gain for Dorsett. Brian Kelly a little slow getting up after the last play. This is Tony Hill out wide to the right, Drew Pearson to the left. Salvi lined up as the flanker on the left side. It's Dorsett again. Dorsett hit by Bill Courier, no gain. Maybe a yard.
sure one of the things that the Giants wanted to do, the strength of this team is their defense, so they wanted to let them play first, let them set the pace.
That's what they meant. That's what they did. When they won the toss and kicked off, White moves back into the sprint formation. Brooks Johnson joins the other two regular wide receivers. White will throw. George Martin put the pressure on, and White goes down, back at the 10.
That's what they wanted to establish, Pat. They won the toss, they kicked off, they wanted their defense in there. Last week against the Eagles, Danny White not only wasn't sacked once, he wasn't even touched once. The first time he goes back to pass today, he's sacked by George Martin.
Leon Bright standing back at the Giant 45. That's Danny White, of course, to punt for Dallas. Into the wind. They should wind up with the ball in pretty good shape. And they're trying to set up a return. A good kick by White. Fine punt. Bright all the way back. Leon Bright runs into one of his own men. Is back at the 45 where the Giants will take over. Glenn Titensor is the first man down for Dallas. Let's look at the Giants' offensive backs and receivers. Brunner, the quarterback, Rob Carpenter and Leon Perry, the two big backs. Ernest Gray and Johnny Perkins start wide. Gary Shirk at tight end, Weston, Ard, Clack, Turner, and King, the offensive line. First and 10 Giants at their own 46. They do start the bull elephant backfield, if you would call it that. This is Carpenter. He had about 4. Randy White out to make the stop. The Dallas Cowboys defensive line, they say that's the key to the whole scheme. Jones, Dutton, White, and Martin. Linebackers, only 3. Hegman, Brunig, and Lewis. And the secondary, Everson Walls in the Pro Bowl on the all-rookie team. Thurman, Waters, and Michael Downs. Here is Scott Brunner. Perkins out wide to the right, Ernest Gray to the left. Second 7. This is Carpenter again. He is near a Giant first down, about a yard short. John Dutton made the stop.
We can see, Pat, that the Giants are doing what they said they wanted to do yesterday. 1, they want to run the ball, and 2, when they pass it, it's going to be those short, high percentage type passes.
They need about a foot to make the first down of the game. 3 tight ends for the Giants. Carpenter to the 41.5-yard line. Dennis Thurman made the stop. Carpenter way over the top. Everybody in the stands except John Madden all bundled up, trying to protect themselves from the cold.
Everyone in the stands knows better. John Madden doesn't know any better, Pat.
First down Giants at the Dallas 42. No score. Opening drive for New York. Dallas had it one time and had to punt. Dave Young flanked wide to the right. And the 2 so-called wide receivers both split to the left. Dallas goes into their flex defense. Brunner will throw. Does. Has Young. He hangs on. First down Giants at the Dallas 26. Charlie Waters on him.
That's the thing that they want to do. When they go to that formation, they have big David Young, you see, spread out here. Now, Charlie Waters, the strong safety, has to go out and cover him, so they want to be able to get that big target in there on the slant. He's 6'6", 242 pounds.
And coming on strong. Early in the year, he had some problems with his feet and also with his hands dropping the football. But now things look better. They're using him more and more. First down, Carpenter. Carpenter gets maybe a yard. Thrown back by Michael Downs, among others, and Mike Hegman there.
That was an interesting thing, and this is what Ray Perkins is talking. Look at Joe Danella there. He has a pair of sweatpants on over his regular pants. He has to keep those legs warm, I guess.
Should wear him down over his feet.
He has something on his feet, too, and his hands.
They may have to call a timeout to get him in the game.
Get him undressed.
Back to Perry. There's off at the pass.
I think there's something interesting here. That the Giants, by putting their tight end, spreading him out, they don't have a strong side or a tight end side. They have two weak sides, and they're trying to run away from D.D. Lewis, who usually plays weak side.
I understand that you want to run away from D.D. Lewis because he plays the run so well.
Right, and you don't want, and you want to have two weak sides.
And now the Giants operate from the shotgun. Finally, Martin got back. No, the penalty marker goes down, complete down the center. Ernest Gray, first and goal, Giants at the 5. Mike Downs made the tackle, but New York trying to get in quickly.
Offside. Defense. Who's trying?
It's one of the few times that the Giants have used the shotgun since Scott Bruner's been in there, and you see what he gets. You see he gets that big target right in the middle against the Dallas Cowboys 5 defensive backs.
First and goal from the 6. No score yet. This is Perry. Waters makes an outstanding play. Spins out of a block and takes him down.
You know, I was talking about that 2 weak sides, and then the weak side that they'll usually want to run to is the Giant right side, which they've been doing.
The Giants have not been a good first quarter team. You can see the difference. In fact, the Giants have scored only 2 touchdowns in the first quarter all year long. One of them last week. Gray and Perkins both left. Second. This is Carpenter. He gets down inside the 5, about the 4.5 perhaps. Randy White made the stop, and it'll be third down.
You know, the toughest thing about that is running to the right. You have to run at Too Tall Jones, and of course you're running away from Randy White.
But as Ray Perkins said to us yesterday, sometimes it doesn't even help to run away from Randy White because he runs you down.
He finds the play. He does search the ball out.
Holiday and Young, the 2 tight ends set up now. Bruner will throw and does quickly. Perkins, the intended receiver, had it for just a moment and dropped it. They'll have to settle for 3.
I'll tell you, he had that. He came in motion, you know, and he went, watch him here. He comes in motion. He goes inside the tight end, right in the middle. He's right there. The ball's right in his hands. I think the Giants lead the league in drop passes. That has really killed their offense all year. That's as good a throw as you can have.
That was Brunig who hit him just as the ball was falling out. Joe Danello, for any kicker, particularly Danello, this should be reasonably easy. They have faked field goals, however. This one they don't. He missed it. Remind me not to say that again.
Oh, I know it. That one, he didn't get it up in the air at all. You know, when a soccer-style kicker has to kick from the right hash mark, that's the toughest thing that you have to do because, see, he has to bring it in a little. See, he has to bring it in, hook it a little, and he overcompensated, and that was line drive right outside the left upright.
Sometimes in that case, the closer you get, the more difficult it is from an angle for a kicker like that.
Introducing another engineering wonder, the new 1982 Honda Accord. It handles better, and to use less energy, we've increased the gas mileage. We've improved the aerodynamics and made it quieter inside. We've also made it roomier. Any wonder the new Accord is so well engineered? After all, it's a Honda.
Honda, we make it simple.
I didn't use my antiperspirant before court this morning. I thought she would...
was gonna buy it.
But even after my second day before a grumpy jury, I still felt dry, thanks to Sure.
Look, even after 48 hours, 70% of Sure's protection is still helping to keep you dry.
You know, if Sure can keep me this dry on a day I can't use it, Imagine how sure I feel when I always use it.
Sure, an extra day of dryness, just to be sure.
Watch Danelo's head come up quickly. Bruner's got the ball down, spins it. That's one thing, and then of course the soccer-style kicker is almost stepping away from the target when he's that close.
Well, he has to go into it, then bring it back out.
So it'll be a first down, Cowboys at their own 20. The Giants an impressive drive, but they come away empty-handed. White, Dorsett. And Dorsett skids outside the 25 to about the 26. Beasley Reese stopped it.
Look at that year that Tony Dorsett is having. 1,607 yards. He's a leading rusher in the league. He can even take a play like that, a broken play, and make 7 yards on it.
He really sees a lot, doesn't he?
Well, you know, that's the thing that he does. He always has his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage and his head up, and he can see everything.
He got 7. 2nd and 3 from the 27. 6:40 left in the first period at Giant Stadium. No score. Salvi in motion. Dorsett again. Chased by Martin. He beat him. Down by Byron Hunt. He didn't see him.
You know, Byron Hunt has really played well these last few weeks. You know, Brad Van Pelt is out. Byron Hunt is a rookie free agent, but watch the way that he plays here on Billy Joe Dupree. See, he gets his hands on him, plays him off, and then right down the line of scrimmage. But the thing that helped that was the outside corner support.
Byron Hunt, 6'4", 230. Played with New England, who was a lot bigger than that.
Big Sam Hunt. He weighed about 280 pounds. He was an inside linebacker.
Tough to get out of there. No gain last play. Here comes Doug Cosby in motion this time, and here comes the rush by Hunt. And George Martin takes White down again. Byron Hunt was the first to pass by, and then George Martin put on the heat again.
I think both ends were in there. I think Gary Jeter gets in there too. Now watch this. We'll see him come from the outside. See, Hunt runs by, but they can't get by George Martin right there. I'll tell you, for a team that hasn't had a sack in the last 2 games, they've had 2 already in their first 2 possessions.
Leon Bright standing back deep for the Giants, and Danny White will punt for Dallas. This one doesn't come out of there quite as quickly, and Bright fields and is knocked backwards. Again, they'll start, though, in Dallas territory at the 47-yard line. George Martin has 2 sacks already. Got a penalty marker back down at the 20-yard line.
Bright Dickerson on the tackle, flag on the play.
It's against Dallas, and I would think that this is good field position for the Giants, Pat, so I think they'll probably decline the penalty.
They want to make them kick it again, it appears.
I thought that they would probably decline the penalty because of good field position.
Pat Haggerty is the referee, as you saw. Dave Moss, the umpire. Head linesman is Terry Glurkey. Line judge Walt Peters, back judge Jim Poole, side judge Dick Creed, and the field judge is Bob Lewis. That's the crew.
Pat Haggerty there, that referee. I had, a few problems with officials, but I had as much respect for that man as any official in the National Football League.
And that is high praise.
Danny White kicks some funny balls. Remember last week he punted one to the Eagles that they fumbled by John Shire just before halftime.
Well, turns out Ray Perkins is going to be right, as Leon Bright gets it back down to the 37. So they picked up 10 on a 5-yard penalty. Still no score. Howard Richards, the first man down to make the tackle. The Giants take it over. In good shape.
For the special times, for the happy times, for what's been, for what will be, for all the years and all the tears, for what you mean to me, for all you give me, a diamond and forever, I give to you.
Don't you have more than Christmas to celebrate? Give her a diamond.
What's more natural than spicy hot food and icy cold beer? What's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? It's the beer with a taste for food. So, when you want to put out the fire,
what's more natural than natural light?
Monday, Private Benjamin's lost in the desert and she's in deep trouble. Then an unexpected guest becomes a big pain for the two of us. Great comedy, Monday.
At Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Look at the Giants' offensive rankings. 25th in rushing, 24th in passing, last total. But so far, they've been impressive. Both sides of the line. Here's Carpenter. They're still impressive. Rob Carpenter still on his feet, still running all the way down to the 15. Ed Jones finally got him down.
I'll tell you now, that's a fullback. That's the way you want to run the ball. You just take that ball and boom, run it right up the middle, shoulder square. Now watch this, from the I formation. He's the second back coming through. He has the lead here. Breaks the tackle right there. See, now get those shoulders square. Get those knees going, feet going. Keep your head up so you can see. Great drive. Well, I'll tell you, that is determination. He's not going down till they get him down.
Key blocked by Leon Bright. First down, Giants. This is Carpenter again. He's knocked backwards. Randy White on the bottom and Bob Brunig on the top. That time, the story ended in a different fashion. Last week's book on Rob Carpenter. He's off to a good start again today.
Yeah, he had those 117 yards last week. Plus, since he's been traded to the Giants from the Oilers, he's had 4 100-yard games.
6'1" and 230. Built like a fullback. He got a yard. Brunner drops, looks, can't find anybody, and finds the 10-yard line on the artificial surface. Nothing to it. Harvey Martin puts some heat on Brunner.
And that's the reason that Scott Brunner couldn't throw that ball. Harvey Martin was right at his feet, and he couldn't step up and throw the ball.
Those numbers on Brunner are a little bit deceiving. He only completed 5 passes against the Rams, but nobody could throw that day.
Either with or against the wind. It was tough both ways.
He had 50-mile-an-hour winds here at Giant Stadium 2 weeks ago. So if you think back about that one, today's not too bad. 3rd and 9. Brunner out of the shotgun this time. Dallas, and here they come. Giants pick it up pretty well. Deflected, intended for Ernest Gray, and we'll see Danilo again, this time from a little bit further out and a little bit less of an angle.
It was Everson Walls that deflected that ball. What a year that young man's had. I guess that wasn't Everson Walls, that's Ron Fellows, isn't it?
And that's a good play.
There's Everson Walls right there, though. See, I knew I saw Everson Walls there. It was deflected by Fellows. Everson Walls almost got it.
32 yards out is Danilo with Brunner holding. Cowboys jump offside. That's too tall Jones. Danilo kicked it and would have missed it if they hadn't been onside. They're saying they were pulled off. That kick by Danilo hit the right upright and hit it hard. They're still shaking.
I think Joe Danilo just wanted a practice kick there because the whistle blew before he kicked it anyway. Much too tall. They put him in the middle there. He said he's going to get a shot at this. Watch. Right to the right of the center. He starts. He says, heck, if I'm going, I may as well keep going.
Defense, 4th down.
Did they call that encroachment?
I think Too Tall has a legitimate complaint. As Roy Simmons, there was some movement on the left side of the Giant line. But it's 4th down Giants. And now Danilo from 28 yards out. No good again.
Ray Perkins can't believe that. You know, Joe Danilo, the first one was the first one that he's missed inside the 29, and here's the second one.
excuse could be overcompensation, but that won't work with Ray Perkins. Still 0-0.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary cars behind and make the Eagles switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to full-time four-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. Two-wheel drive luxury to four-wheel drive security. American Eagle. Now up to $1,000 rebates on selected new Eagles direct from American Motors.
Look at him. A man who plays his game that seriously needs a place like the Sands Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. The Sands gives him the treatment he deserves, the personal attention he really appreciates.
Oh, good evening, Mr. D. Enjoy your dinner?
The Sands treats him right, so he can just enjoy himself. And that's a wonderful feeling. You'll love how it feels.
Watch middleweight boxer Steve Michelera and Irish Teddy Man battle it out. Tuesday, December 22nd at the Sands Theater.
Still 0-0 between the Giants and the Cowboys.
Watch it here. He just steps in here and he just pushes it to the right. See, he doesn't bring it in. He just hits it and pushes it right outside that right upright.
So Dallas again will operate deep in their own territory from their own 20. Here's Dorsett. Steps out of bounds, finally trips over a camera case. A lot of people on the sidelines. The biggest game, I suppose. Well, certainly it is. In 18 years, Giants have been that long out of the playoffs.
And you know, the thing is, they've had 2 chances at these Cowboys, and they haven't taken advantage of either. And, you know, usually those types of things come back to haunt you.
3-yard gain by Dorsett, make it 2nd and 7 from the 23. Pretty soon that wind advantage that the Giants had is going to be over. White sends Dorsett in motion this time. And he'll throw, not to the shotgun. Does. Tony Hill had it, dropped it. Terry Jackson, the defender, underneath. Number 24.
There's a lot of talk here about Mark Haynes, but Terry Jackson has really played very well at the end of this season. Now watch, it's just a hook pattern, and it just, you know, he didn't get his hands out in front enough. He had his hands in too close, and when he was catching the ball, it hit his shoulder pads.
He might have jumped when he didn't have to jump, too.
I don't know why players do that. You know, that was one thing I could never understand. Why do you jump when the ball's thrown at your waist?
White moves back in the spread. James Jones back with Ron Springs in the backfield. And those 3 wide receivers blitzed by the Giants. Taylor. White has time, has Springs, and Dallas will have their first down of the day. It almost cost Springs his head. Jackson and Courier spun him around.
That's the thing about the Dallas Cowboys. You know, and last week against the Eagles, they did it so well, is spread the ball around. You know, they'll throw it to a Tony Hill, to a Drew Pearson, to a Butch Johnson, to any one of 3 tight ends, to the backs. They really do spread the ball as well as anyone.
You saw the time remaining in the first quarter, still no score. Dallas with a little breathing room now outside the 30. 1st and 10. Dorsett, as you know, trying to get that rushing leadership. Lost a few. Bill Courier, a safety man, came up to make the force and got some help from Haynes.
You know, it's interesting that the Cowboys running have been working the right side. They've been trying to work on Byron Hunt, and it really hasn't worked yet. You know, I think they know Lawrence Taylor is over on that other side, and you know he's been so strong and so forceful that they want to stay away from him. But Byron Hunt's doing it on this side.
And George Martin has been outstanding for the last couple of weeks over there next to Hunt. That's what the Cardinals tried to do, work on that spot. Here's a draw play, Springs. Springs breaks out. Springs will have another Dallas first down. He hurdles over a tackler. Lucky he didn't get hurt.
That was a delay or a draw play pass that, and the thing that they did, we're talking about George Martin. They caught George Martin thinking pass. And if we can see it again over here on the right of the screen, they fake a pass. George Martin runs up the field, and that opens a hole to get Ron Springs through. There's a nose tackle, Bill Neal. Look what he has to go through. But that hole was so wide, you see, had Martin been in there and closed it, he could have made a play.
We come back with Dorsett straight ahead at Neal this time, and he is equal to the occasion. Randy White over on the sideline. Interesting things that Ray Perkins had to say about him. How do you defense or how do you run against Randy White? What do you do? And he said, I don't know what you do, because every time I've seen him, no matter how you approach it, he's been very, very good.
He said, you run at him, he stops it. You run away from him, he runs over and gets you.
Dorsett got 3, make it 2nd and 7 out at the 46. Cowboys trying to put something together now with no score and 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Salvi in motion. White with time. Goes behind Salvi and the penalty marker goes down. Way on. Years Brian Kelly's been around and no playoffs.
But usually when that official from the side calls it, it's usually holding on the tackle near to him. That'd be
holding.
Donovan.
67, offense.
Pat Donovan indeed.
Let's see if we can see it here. It'll be on the left side of the screen. See number 67, Pat Donovan. He gets pushed by Jeter to the inside. He's okay right now. Now watch his left hand there. He grabs and then pulls him down. That was a hold. They caught him, and our cameraman caught him.
26 seconds left in the first quarter. No score. 2nd and 17, Dallas. Drew Pearson in motion. Hand off Dorsett. Only 2. Byron Hunt. Again on the bottom of the pile. Tripped him up. Cowboys 28-1 when Dorsett rushes 100 yards or more. Giants call a timeout. Want to make Dallas run this 3rd down against the wind. 14 seconds left in quarter number 1. A very crucial game for the Giants particularly.
Energizer. Mom, can we play the radio all night?
All night. Good thing I bought the Energizer.
Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts the Energizer from Eveready. Nothing outsnaps it. Nothing outadds, outwalks, outplays, outtapes, outshines, outlasts it. Nothing.
The Energizer even outlasted Susie.
Energizer. Energize. For life.
Long life.
Energize me.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
Oh, I love the frog.
Cuddly animals with a radio inside.
Maybe Santa will bring it.
The Petable Portable Radios. A Pekingese and raccoon. A frog and a lovable floppy dog. And a cuddly cat or a cute brown spaniel. Furry friends in a musical menagerie that'll delight your kids or teens alike.
Daddy, Santa brought my frog from Radio Shack.
Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Next, Kansas State faces Indiana, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas meets Georgetown in exciting regional NCAA basketball action. Get into the spirit with CBS Sports next.
3rd and 15, 14 seconds left in the first quarter. The Giants just took a timeout. Why do you think, John?
Well, they want the Cowboys to have to throw into this win on 3rd and long.
You think Landry might be smart to run a running play now?
I think he would, but he'd be able to punt with the wind if he ran.
But he's in the spread formation, and White will try to throw. They're trying to set up a screen, nothing doing there. Springs had it. Byron Hunt was nearby. Pass is incomplete, and Ray Perkins' strategy works. They'll have to punt against the wind.
It did work. The Giants were complaining, and I think they were right here, that there were some offensive linemen downfield. Let's see if we can see it. See, it was supposed to be a screen pass. They held the screen man well, and then by the time he got out, that offensive line was forming the screen was also downfield. As you say the strategy did work. They had a throw on 3rd and long into the wind, and now they have to punt into the wind.
That's Leon Bright, set to return for the Giants, and Danny White, of course, will punt for Dallas. Good kick. Good kick. Chases Bright all the way back and goes out of bounds at the 13-yard line, 12-yard line, and the Giants now have some tough ground to cover, and they'll change into the field, and that means the Giants will go against the wind. And they still have only 2 touchdowns all year in the first quarter.
The sound of a car door shutting tells you something about the car. From these sounds, you might picture a large, solidly built limousine, perhaps a European model or an expensive American make. If you did, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Introducing the new Honda Accord 4-door sedan. It's not often you're impressed by the noise a car makes.
We make it simple.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
Specialist Kevin Crowley is working with tomorrow's technology in the Army's newest tank.
All that you can be.
The laser determines target range and feeds it to the computer.
All that you can be.
It's just incredible.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
What's more natural than pasta and beer? Ah, what's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? The beer with a taste for food. It's natural and it's light. So when you want to leave room for more,
What's more natural than natural light?
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, kicking off the season with a newly styled Accord. Honda, we make it simple. And by the U.S. Army. The Army, a great place to be all that you can be.
Pat Summerall with John Madden. We're looking at the first play of quarter number 2. The Giants with the ball. Rob Carpenter, the ball carrier, tripped up by Everson Walls. That's a dandy play.
Everson Walls has been a surprise in everything that he's done this year. Hasn't he? Was a surprise when he made the team, and a surprise when he started, then a surprise when he leads the league in interceptions, and just last week, a surprise to be named as a starter in the Pro Bowl. What a year.
And to the all-rookie team.
He almost didn't get here. He missed the airplane yesterday in the Cowboys and had to fly in on his own.
Charlie Waters just took himself out of the game. Benny Barnes has replaced him. Doesn't appear that Waters is hurt. Here's Carpenter. I beg your pardon, it's Leon Bright, the other big back. Got to about the 19. Leon Perry, I'm sorry.
Looked like there's 2 players injured on that one. It looked like Perry injured himself, and then we see Johnny Perkins is on the sideline too. And it happened right about the same time.
Watch Perkins.
Let's see if we can see what happens to Johnny Perkins here. He starts in, it's a running play. He's going to block Everson Walls. He slips. Oh, and he gets hit from behind by the runner. It was Leon Perry just ran into him.
And Perry is also shaken up just a little bit. Looks like he might depart. And Leon Bright this time does replace him.
Now you can shop for phone styles the way you shop for other styles, which makes sense, really, when you consider how many different styles and colors of phones there are today, and how the phone has become a decorating accessory. You just go to any one of our Phone Mart stores, pick out the phones you want, then simply take them home and plug them in.
G.
No, GTE.
The engineers of Mercedes-Benz have created an advanced diesel power system. Its heart, this compact turbocharger. And this system has just transformed 2 more diesels into high-performance turbo diesels. Mercedes-Benz unleashes the 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. Now with 45% more power. The 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. The 2 newest turbo diesels from Mercedes-Benz.
Christmas Day, it's the Blue Gray Classic, a top showcase for college seniors. And the LA Lakers take aim at the Phoenix Suns in NBA action. Join in the Christmas spirit here on CBS Sports.
Johnny Perkins, who had a big day against Dallas down at Texas Stadium, being helped off the field right now. He got hit from behind and his leg was buckled under him.
And we'll see it again here, Pat. He gets hit by his own man. It's Leon Perry here who's running with the ball, and Johnny Perkins is out in front to block. You see right there, and Perry gets him right from the back, and that's how he injured his knee.
And Perry had to leave the game too. Here it is again.
See, Perry's coming in. He's bringing Everson Walls in. He starts to block there, and just as he makes the block on Everson Walls, Leon Perry runs into him, or is knocked into him.
3rd down, 2 at the 20 for the Giants. Andy Pittman, Ernest Gray, and John Mistler. Now the receiving core. Bruner out of the spread. Penalty markers go down. The Dallas defenders pointing in the direction, saying they were pulled offsides, and if that's the case, there were a lot of them offsides.
Pat Haggard is not going to tell us what it is, but I'm sure it was the right side of the line. And again, the rule is once those linemen get down in a 3-point stance, they can't move. Oh, he is going to tell us. Sorry, Pat.
False start, number 72, offense.
That is Gordon King, number 72 in white, blocking against number 72 in blue. Faces a 3rd and 7 situation from his own 15. Cowboys blitzing. He throws outside. Has Danny Pittman, and he'll have, I believe, a Giant first down. Ron Fellows knocked him out.
That's going to be very, very close over there. In fact, they're going to mark it right where that marker is. Now watch it right here. Now, Danny Pittman knows that he has to get beyond that red marker there. See it right there? The ball has to get beyond it before he goes out of bounds. It'll be an interesting spot.
This is a fine athlete, Danny Pittman. There was some thought and some talk earlier in the year and perhaps next year of playing him as a defensive back. Right now he's in action as a wide receiver. Looks like there's a kink link in that chain.
A kink link does help. You don't have to go 10 yards for a first down. You only have to go 9.5, depending on how many kinks. If you have 3 kinks, you may only have to go 9 yards for a first down.
Bruner got his first down. He's 3 out of 6, 39 yards so far. He has Mistler out wide to the right this time. First down. Fumble. And Bruner just drops on top of it. There's Perkins over on the sideline, and they're seeing what happened to him or trying to determine. Looks like right ankle.
Yeah, it looked when he did it that it could have been his right knee, and we see there that they're taping his right ankle. And if you have a choice between a knee injury and an ankle injury, you always take the ankle.
Not a very good choice, but indeed you're right about that. 2nd and 12. The fumble caused a loss of 2. They've got 3 wide receivers in the game now. Pittman, Mistler, and Gray. Here's the draw play. Leon Bright. Not much doing. Randy White made the tackle.
I'll tell you, it's just a little point, but see if we can watch Randy White. He's the second guy in here. Now watch, it's a pass. He sees they aren't going to pass. It's a draw. I play off that guard and boom, right down into the draw. Now that, if it were a pass, he'd have to rush the passer. He started the minute that he felt draw, he stopped his pass rush. Well, I like that.
I like that one too, Mr. Landry.
One of the greatest that ever coached this game.
3rd and 10 from the 23. Dallas up in blitzing look anyway. Pass complete to Ernest Gray as Bruner was right on the money. Fellows goes the defender.
I'll tell you, all year the Giants have had trouble with the blitz, but watch them. They have the two up there, Benny Barnes on the left. The center goes left. The guard comes down on Dickerson. They solid that middle, and boom, they can hit it right in the middle of the field.
Here's Ernest Gray.
Watch Gray now. He knows there's no safety. He has to take it a little shorter, a little quicker, and that was a great throw by Scott Bruner.
First down Giants again out of a long situation. They give again to Carpenter, who was the up back in this situation, the fullback in the eye. Leon Bright deep after the problem with Leon Perry. Bob Brunig, the tackler.
You know, that blitzing situation, I'm still talking about that, was very impressive because the thing you have to do is be solid in the middle. Don't let anyone break up the middle. Get rid of the ball quicker and shorten your pattern down, and the Giants did all three.
2 yards for Carpenter, 2nd and 8. Bruner to Carpenter again. Carpenter breaking some tacklers, gets close to midfield and close to a first down. Ed Jones. It's the man who tripped him up. As we mentioned before, Carpenter has had 4 100-yard games already.
And watch John Dutton there. He thought that he had him, and he started to move to the left, and it was J.T. Turner who just drove him right beyond the hole. Good blocking, guys.
Carpenter has 10 carries, 47 yards.
He's made a big difference in this team.
He sure has. 3rd down, 1-3 tight ends for the Giants. They give to Carpenter. Carpenter has it. Leon Bright, a good block in front of him. There's Leon Perry. Looks like they're going to take him for an X-ray.
Both of them there. You have Perry there, who they're taking off, and right behind him we have Johnny Perkins, who now they're starting to work on his knee. Maybe it was his right knee also.
Knee and ankle in one shot. First down Giants at the Dallas 47. Again, they move into that flex defense. Bruner will throw on first down. A lot of people have been doing that. Young was the intended receiver. Michael Downs and Everson Walls, the 2 rookies. There on defense for Dallas.
Scott Bruner was looking to the sideline and says, what the heck, we have to take a shot in there once in a while. You know, the tough thing to throw to this side, to the right against the Cowboys, is when you throw to the right, you have to throw around or over or through at Too Tall Jones.
D.D. Lewis just limped off the field and is being looked at on the Dallas sideline, replaced by Guy Brown. 2nd and 10 from the 47. Bruner operating against the wind. Mistler in motion, the rookie. Bruner will throw on 2nd down. Young hangs on this time and tries to pull his way forward. Is knocked backwards. Brunig.
Ray Perkins was telling us yesterday that he was going to play Young more. He said he's been playing him about 36 plays a game, which would be about half the game. He said, but you'll see more of him tomorrow. And you can see why. Against these zone defenses, a guy that's 6'6" is a great target for a quarterback.
3rd and short again. Look for Carpenter as they again use 3 tight ends. Carpenter's the fullback. Carpenter struggling for the first down. He won't get it. Jones almost jumped off sides, but got back.
This will be an interesting thing, and I would assume, or I would bet that Ray Perkins in this situation will go for it. It's going to be 4th down. It looked like on that play, Pat, they lost yardage.
It certainly does appear that they did, and Perkins has chosen not to go for a first down. He sends in Dave Jennings, who's a fine athlete.
I think he probably would have gone for it had he not lost yardage, had it got where it was 4th down and inches. But when he saw that, it was 4th and more than a yard, he decided to punt.
James Jones and Donnelly go back deep for Dallas. Steve Wilson over on the right side as Jennings would look at it. Penalty marker goes down. have too many men on the field? Too much time.
I think it may have been too much time. The Cowboys had 12 men in the
Delay of
field.
game. Offense.
Right, the Cowboys did have 12 men in the field, and they got them off. And this is a penalty that doesn't hurt. You know, by getting back here, Jennings will have a better angle to get the ball out of bounds. The ball, yeah.
Ball blew away.
Okay, just put the ball back then.
Delay of game. Offense.
They're still working on Johnny Perkins on that hot bench, the hot seat. They pump hot air into those benches. They're still working on Johnny Perkins. Here's Jennings again. Good kick. Let it fly into the end zone. Took a good bounce. Bounces finally back out onto the field and dies at the 1, but it went into the end zone and bounced back out. So still there is no score. We have 8 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half, and it's Dallas nothing, Giants nothing.
If your morning shave has turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside, 3 floating heads. Twin-action grips and raises hair up, then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin-blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor, cord or rechargeable. Because for close shaves,
there's no action like twin action.
Toyota has to compare their 82 four-wheel drive truck to our dirt bike. We're both tough going up mountain roads. Toyota should be. It's got one of the biggest engines in its class. And he looks pretty comfortable in there, too. Come on, Toyota, the last part of the test where you carry us, then we carry you. Give me a break. Oh, what a feeling. The 4x4, it'll get you to the top, comfortably.
New Year's Day, the legendary Bear Bryant and his Alabama Crimson Tide meet the Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. A Happy New Year on CBS Sports.
At cold and windy Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Temperature at the beginning of the game was 23 degrees. And it's supposed to drop as the afternoon passes. White with a lot of time this time, throws for Cosby, almost picked off by Lawrence Taylor.
I'll tell you, did Lawrence Taylor make a great play on that one? You talk about how big he is, how strong, how many tackles he makes, but watch the ground that he makes up here. He starts back here. Now watch him sprint for the ball. He's man-to-man there. He's playing man-to-man on Doug Cosby. Now watch him get up in the air at the end. Follows the ball all the way, jump as high as you can. Ooh, you almost had it, Lawrence. If he didn't have those gloves on, he would have caught.
Maybe. He looked back before Cosby did.
He's talking to Cosby now. He said, I had you man-to-man on that play. You know that? Cosby said, nope.
I won the battle.
Do it again.
2nd and 10, Dallas on their own 20. Long count. That's Dorsett. He runs into Jeter and had really never any place to look. George Martin stymied the play at the line of scrimmage, and then Jeter finished it off.
And Jeter did exactly what you have to do against a Dorsett on artificial turf. You can't run to where he's going. You have to stay in your area and be solid along the line of scrimmage.
See, the Cowboys have had bad starting points each time they've had the ball. 3 times at the 20, once at the 26. Phil Tabor, who rushes the passer very well, and the Giants' 4-man pass rush setup is in a game. Mike Dennis also in the defensive backfield. 5 defensive backs. Fake a blitz. Oops. Here's George Martin wrestling with Danny White.
I would think that the whistle had to blow before the ball was snapped because Danny White just took it and stopped.
Well, it's time.
That's one of those penalties that Coach Tom Landry hates. You know, they've had a lot of trouble with that over the year. They haven't had it in the last 3 or 4 games, but they've had a lot of trouble with that 30-second clock.
Delay of game. Offense.
So it'll be 3rd some defensive changes. Ryan Kelly and Harry Carson come back in. Expect Dallas not to throw it and try to run it. I think they're wrong. They're in the three-man front. Jeter from behind. White does well to hold on to the football.
You were right. They were wrong, but Gary Jeter knew what they were doing. Let's watch it. Now he's on Pat Donovan there, the right-hand part of your screen. He just ran right outside him, right around him. Now watch him come. Danny White feels him, but he can't get away from him. Great pass rush.
And White indeed was fortunate there was no fumble. That Giant defense continues to excel. White standing in the end zone. Line shot. Bright at the 43. Chased by Barnes, away from Barnes, and down the sideline is Leon Bright. Again, the Giants in Dallas territory. Bright got it around the corner. Bob Brunig knocked him out of bounds. 49-yard punt by White.
Those Giant fans are going wild here. You know, Bright did an outstanding job of catching that ball because as it was coming down, it was fading out to the right.
They'll operate from the Dallas 41. Still, nothing.
We'll open your eyes.
You know what I like about this RCA remote control? It's pure power.
Roger, you're supposed to fix my bicycle.
I can turn the TV off or on.
Roger.
The volume down or up. And switch right to the channel I want.
Open your eyes to RCA's advanced 17-function remote system.
I'll tell Mom.
Unfortunately, it only works on the TV.
We'll open your eyes. Open your eyes. RCA.
Your first frosty glass of Schaefer beer. Nothing could be more satisfying. Nothing. Except for your second Schaefer. And every single Schaefer after that.
Schaefer is the one beer to have. One beer to have. When you're having more than one.
The crowd is just starting to settle down after the Giants get good field position, and there's Perkins. Johnny Perkins being taken on the cart to the locker room, and again, I suppose, for x-rays. Brunner is going to go to work early. Not much doing there. Ball is batted down by Ed Jones.
That's what I was saying earlier, you know, that it's really tough to throw to the right against these Cowboys. And here's an example why. Now, see, you can step up, you can throw to the left, but watching there, anywhere around that right-hand side, too tall is always there with those big arms and hands to slap the ball down.
And don't forget that John Dutton stands in there at 6'7" on the same side. 2nd and 10. Brunner trying to change the formation. He'll have to go in a hurry. Pittman was the last man moving. Out. Reverse Carpenter, and he's got some room, or did have, but the ever-present number 54, Randy White.
Ray Perkins was right. He said, we don't know whether to run at him. We don't know whether to run away from him. He said, let's try a reverse and see what he does. He was on a stunt there. See, Harvey Martin was coming to the inside. Randy White was stunning to the outside. They even tried to grab him, and he ran right through a hole. You'll see it when we see it again.
That's Jim Plack that tries to block him right here.
Someone tries to hold him.
So it'll be 3rd down and long from the 43. 3rd and 12, in fact. And Gunnar drops back in the spread formation. Brunner has time. He gets it out to Carpenter. Out there with him. Anthony Dickerson, and Anthony hangs in there. And Carpenter comes up throwing the ball at somebody. At Randy White.
Tired of Randy White tackling.
No penalty marker.
I think what they do is they'll let a few of those things go in these types of games trying to go deeper. He was trying to go downfield. He comes out here to Carpenter. Now watch, there's Anthony Dickerson. He has him. He's down. Oh, and see, someone came in. There was Randy White, caught him with his knee in the head, and Rob Carpenter saying, "Don't do that to me." What?
That's a bad guy to get mad. Although, how much better can he be?
I don't think he gets mad.
Here's Jennings. This one's going to hang up there, and they'll let it bounce. And again, Dallas will start way deep in their own territory. They down it at the 10. So there are only 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first half. McLaughlin is the man who downs it. Only a 30-yard kick, but it was effective. Still 0-0.
Look out, world!
Here comes Ford Mustang.
Yes, sir, no, sir, got me on the go, sir, but quitting time's a different situation. I never take dictation.
Ford Mustang, one beautiful way to turn high mileage into high excitement.
Look out, world! Here comes Ford! Here comes new! Here comes now! Here comes Ford!
He's the working man, forging dreams with fire, building, moving mountains, always reaching higher. He's the wheels that move a nation, the stitching in the seams. He holds it all together. He wears Levi's jeans, 'cause he knows we still build the Levi's jeans that helped build America.
Tomorrow, it's do or die with Tampa Bay at Detroit, Green Bay at the New York Jets as they determine the playoff picture. Don't miss the crucial outcomes tomorrow on CBS Sports.
4:40 left in the first half, and no score between Dallas and the Giants. The Giants must win and hope in order to get into the playoffs. Saldi, flank to the right. And out comes in motion left. White, Dorsett. Penalty marker goes down again. And we'll just check and see. Gary Jeter made the stop, holding Dallas.
And that umpire, who was right behind the defensive line, throws that flag that fast and in that direction, you know it's holding against the offense.
I thought when we were talking to Tom Landry last night, John, and you asked him how he thought his team would play today, usually he has a very definitive answer. Last night he said, "I'm not sure."
That's right. He always does have an answer that, you know, they'll do this or that.
Holding, number 64, offense.
4, of course, is Rafferty, with Bill Neal just in front of him.
I know why that happens, too.
Draw play, Springs gets a couple, no more. Brad Van Pelt has sort of been the leader of the Giants. There he is for his long career, 9 in fact. We asked him before the game how he felt about this one.
It's hard to put in words. It's been 9 years, and if someone would have told me 9 years ago it was going to take me this long to even just reach the playoffs as a wild card, I would have said no way. Things don't work that way. But it's been 9 long years. I've learned a lot, and I'm just glad I'm going to have an opportunity to make those playoffs. And I really feel the way the week has went and the way the guys are really ready for this game, that there's going to be a wild card spot for us, and I don't think my season's over yet.
Springs spinning away from one. Gary Jeter makes sure that he doesn't go too far, and again the Giant defense is equal to every occasion.
You know, there's a lot of talk about the Giants, about Lawrence Taylor and so on. Byron Hunt has replaced Van Pelt and played very well. But there's another guy who has helped this team, a rookie, Bill Neal, the nose tackle. He really has. He's played solid in that middle. When you play a 3-man line, you have to have solid, strong play from your nose tackle.
He is a member of this year's All-NFL rookie team. That's that great Pitt team last year, and players from that team are scattered throughout the NFL.
After years of development, the makers of Neo-Synephrine are proud to introduce even longer-lasting relief for your stuffy nose. Introducing new Neo-Synephrine 12 Hour. Absolutely nothing you can buy is stronger or lasts longer than new Neo-Synephrine 12 Hour. Now you can breathe freely all day. Get new Neo-Synephrine 12 Hour. Nothing is stronger. Nothing lasts longer.
Neither rain, nor snow, nor gloom of night.
When people are counting on you to come through, it's nice to have a Toyota Corolla Tercel pulling for you.
She'll keep me from the completion of my appointed round.
The 1982 front-wheel drive Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car. The Toyota Tercel, a car that pulls its own weight.
And a little bit more.
Tercel!
3:03 left to play in the first half. Dallas nothing, Giants nothing. Cowboys operating from their own 7, 3rd and 13. Bill Neal is number 77. White gets it out of there. Intended for Tony Hill. He had it momentarily. It bounced out of his hands. Mark Haynes was back there with him, and White will again have to punt out of his own end zone.
Look at these fans. They're all standing. I'll tell you, they love these Giants. They've waited a long time, these people have, to get a meaningful game, the last one of the season. This is the second time that Tony Hill has dropped a pass. What's that? That's a little high, but it went right through his hands.
Those are the kind that get picked off.
You don't see that happen very often to any of these Cowboy receivers.
Here's White in his own end zone. Leon Bright standing back close to midfield. Good snap. White, pretty good kick. At the 50. Oh! Anthony Dickerson down early on Leon Bright. Nothing doing. That's going to be called against. And Leon Bright is still down. That's going to be called against Anthony Dickerson, and the Giants will have the football once again back deep in Dallas territory.
Hey, these fans are booing that one. That was no fair catch, but the rule is that you have to let the return man catch the ball.
Interference, some opportunity to make a fair catch.
He had no opportunity to catch that. Look, Dickerson hit him 2 counts before the ball arrived. And fair catch or no, you can't hit the return man until he has an opportunity to field the ball. Hey, this is going to be a big penalty, though. Look where the ball ended up. It ended up on the 20-yard line, and the penalty is going to be way up here towards midfield, and it'll be 15 yards, and that'll get the Giants on the 37-yard line starting out.
Interference, with the opportunity to make a fair catch, number 51, first down.
It'll be a first down Giants at the Cowboy 37. 2:43 left to play in the first half. The Giants used a timeout earlier, so did Dallas, so they both have 2 left. There's Ray Perkins.
And Leon Bright is still down in the field. I tell you, he really took a shot that he wasn't expecting.
We've seen him take a couple of those this year. He doesn't like to signal for fair catches, but he may change his mind.
I don't know that he has signaled for a fair catch all year, and on that one, he didn't. They said fair catch. Of course, that's just the rule. There was no fair catch, but they have to give him an opportunity to catch the ball. See, he had no chance here. What? Boom, he gets hit now. Now watch the ball. There's the ball.
There's Anthony Dickerson. Looks like one of the linebackers of the future, if indeed that happens for Dallas. And Bright is still down. I think now they're calling for a stretcher. Meantime, remind you of our coverage tomorrow. A lot of the fans still standing and booing that hit by Dickerson. This is what shapes up tomorrow. It begins with the NFL today, of course. Tampa Bay at Detroit. That's for the championship of the NFC Central. And obviously very important. Green Bay at the Jets. That too is important. Both teams with playoff hopes. St. Louis at Philadelphia, very important to the Eagles. 49ers at Washington. Home field advantage for the 49ers. If Dallas loses, they win. And if they both lose, it still goes to the 49ers. Washington finally at Los Angeles. And again, they're asking, and now they've gotten some help to get Leon Bright off. He took a shot, I recall, when we were in Milwaukee, John, against the Packers.
I'll tell you, you talk about the tough acts in professional football. I think the toughest thing that a player has to do is return a punt.
The return teams, punts and kickoffs, are tough slots. Leon Bright played for a while in Canada, went to Florida State. Is listed as a rookie, but he had played, as I mentioned, those years in Canada. So he's had some pro experience. D.D. Lewis, by the way, the word on him is that he has a strained calf muscle.
Well, that is the third Giant player that has gone off in the cart into the locker room for x-rays or treatment.
Ike Forte gets the carry. Playing now in place of Leon Bright. Forte gets good yardage. Mike Hegman made the tackle. Clock running now, 2:25 left to play in the first half, and still no score. Giants have had two chances of relatively easy field goals, but they have missed them both.
You know, the one thing that Ray Perkins says, he says, we want to stay close with them. He says, if we're close or even in the fourth quarter, he says, we'll beat them.
They're close. Late in the second quarter. It's handoff to Carpenter. Carpenter's spinning. He should have enough for a first down. John Dutton wrapped him up. And that'll get us to the 2-minute warning in the first half. A little bit less than that, in fact. D.D. Lewis is still out of the Dallas defense. Of course, with that strained calf muscle, his place taken by Guy Brown with 2 minutes to go in the first half. It's still 0-0.
It might not look like it sometimes, but there's an underlying order to the game of football. Diagram plays, a clock, rules. Every player knows what to expect. Life doesn't work that way. There are hidden tragedies beyond our control, and no one to call timeout or throw a penalty flag. Retinitis pigmentosa is a hereditary eye disease that strikes without warning. Hundreds of thousands of people have RP and other inherited eye diseases. That would fill a lot of football stadiums. We don't know the cause or the cure, just the symptoms. Night blindness and tunnel vision, followed by a gradual loss of sight. The RP Foundation is sponsoring research in many hospitals and universities. They've started the retina donor program, improved diagnostic techniques, and helped with vision aids. And there are RP information centers all over the country. If you or a member of your family has RP, contact your local RP chapter.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League. Timeouts remaining, 2 apiece. Giants in good shape, however, with the ball at the Dallas 26. Bruner asking for quiet. Pitch back to Carpenter. Carpenter cuts back and got something out of not much opportunity. Maybe 4. Bob Brunick tripped him up. He got 3. Tom Mullaby checks in and will send a message to Bruner. Joe Danello trying to get ready without his warm-up suit this time. 3-yard pickup by Carpenter, 2nd and 7. This is Ike Forte. He gets down to 25. Fumble, and Dallas has it. Harvey Martin pops on top of it.
I'll tell you, the Giants have had 3 opportunities. They've missed 2 field goals, and they got down here and they have the fumble. And it's amazing that this is the first turnover of the game. Now watch, just as he got hit there by Dennis Thurman again from the outside, the ball popped out, and now Dallas will go the other way with it. Watch here, now we'll see it. Now watch Thurman, he's number 32. Now watch, when he hits there, he gets a little of the leg, and he gets a little of the ball and knocked it right out of his arm.
So Dallas will take over at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10, they have 2 timeouts remaining. 1:21 left first half. Billy
Joe Dupree moves out a little bit further, right at the bottom of the picture. White from the shotgun. Almost picked off, intended for Drew Pearson. Brian Kelly got the hand on it, and White's a little upset with himself.
Danny White can't believe that. Brian Kelly can't believe that. Had Brian Kelly caught that one, Pat, it was a touchdown. There was no one there. Watch this. He goes back. He's dropping in his zone. Watching White's eyes. Now look in front of him there. You see there's not a blue jersey there. He would have taken that ball all the way into the end zone. He knows it. He does a clap and a somersault and says, oh, shoot.
California Lutheran. He's been around a few years. Perhaps not the most gifted athletically, but certainly one of the most intelligent players anywhere in the league. White again. Will try to throw. Jeter's after him. Pearson had it. It was knocked loose as he was hit by Bill Courier. White a little slow getting up.
He should be slow. He was really hit there by Gary Jeter. Now watch Drew Pearson. He's coming in here. It's against the zone. They try and hit the zone, and just as the ball hits, boom, the defender's there. Now watch Jeter. He'll come from the right side of the screen. Again, he's on Pat Donovan coming from the outside. See there? Then the inside move, and he hits White just as he throws the ball. Right around the neck.
Bill Courier was the defender who got the hand in there and slapped the ball away and made the hit on Drew Pearson. 3rd down 10. Still from the 22, and White will throw again if he has time. The screen pass is well set. Not enough for the first, however. Dorsett, the ball carrier.
It was interesting. Did you see which side they threw that screen to? They threw it to Gary Jeter's side. That's usually what a quarterback will do, or any play calling. Throw it to the side where you're getting the pressure.
Man down for the Giants, I believe, is Harry Carson, the All-Pro linebacker. One of the All-Pro linebackers.
You know, it looked like he got hit by his own man again. That's the second time that's happened to the Giants. It looked like Lawrence Taylor hit him on that play. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him. He's going to run off the field. Let's see if we can see it. The screen here to the left. Now watch Carson right there, 53. Now watch Taylor come from the right of the screen, and he picked Carson off.
Back deep for the Giants now after the injury to Bright is Beasley Reese, I think. That's right. An ex-Cowboy. Danny White standing at his own 15. Gonna run it, and he's gonna get the first down. White trying to get out of bounds, but the Dallas Cowboys keep the ball. Mike Whittington knocked him out of bounds. There's a penalty marker down way back upfield. Beasley Reese talking to one of the officials. Now let's see what this is about.
Right, it's way up there in the 30-yard line. I don't think that was a called play because the Cowboys were downfield covering. And I think Danny White just saw that opening on the left and ran with the ball.
The discussion continues. Pat Haggerty, the referee.
Notice the referee always has the black hat. The other officials have the white hats.
We have a personal foul against the offensive team after the play was over. After the play was over.
That was Anthony Dickerson again.
I believe, yes.
Let's see, it was after Danny White ran with the ball. Now see if we can see it here. See Danny White's there. They start to cover. That he wasn't supposed to run, but he saw that there was no one out here to the left. He knew he could get a first down, which he did. Now the play's over. And then downfield, about 30 yards, the penalty was against Dickerson.
So they'll give Dallas the first down with 38 seconds left, and then they'll mark off the personal foul penalty.
Personal foul, number 51. After the play was over, first and 25.
That's two of those against Dickerson.
That's his second one, and they were both on punting situations.
Of course, he's very good on the special teams. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody on the Giants, after the hit on Leon Bright, didn't do something of a retaliatory nature, and Dickerson is the one who got caught.
You mean like a taunt or a bait?
Something like that. Or a punch. White, being brushed by Taylor, gets away from him, throws. Intended, and pass interference is going to be called. Interference against Terry Jackson. Drew Pearson, the intended receiver. That'll be enough for a first down.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. First down.
I'll tell you, that's about as well as you can play that play, though, as well as Terry Jackson does here, because he can't touch him before the ball gets there, but you want to make contact right at the time you do. Now, what he did wrong there, maybe, is grab the face mask after he had come over the top. You saying no?
Terry Jackson and Drew Pearson had a few words after that play was over. 31 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas still with 2 timeouts remaining. White shouting, looking to his left. Got Pearson way out there. Here comes Taylor on a blitz again. White steps up, going deep, intended for Pearson. Terry Jackson back there with him again. And again a few words.
They are having some words. That's a real battle out there between 2 competitors. Terry Jackson telling the official, I didn't do anything wrong. Let's see if we can watch the whole play again, isolated. Watch him here. Here's Drew Pearson, number 88 on Terry Jackson. He's looking into the backfield. Watch him. He gets him turned. The ball's thrown over the outside shoulder just a step away. Here's where the talking starts, right there after it's all over. There was no talking when they were running down the field.
That goes back to the play before, I think. Pearson, of course, played his high school football not too far from here. Again, the Giants blitz. White looking, throwing. Cosby has it out of bounds.
Talk about big targets. That's why the tight ends are so big. You know, Doug Crosby's 6'6", and those guys are sure easy to see when you get a pass rush. This is a perfect pass. Watch, he hits him here, and then 1 foot down, the other foot down, and then the 3rd foot on the line.
First down at the Giant 42-yard line. 43 make it. First and 10 Dallas. 18 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Still nothing.
Raphael Septien's down there warming up. He's getting ready to come in and try one.
They have timeouts to spare. Here comes Taylor again on the blitz. White looking, throwing outside springs. Not much, and they keep him in bounds. Haynes makes a good play to do that, and he just can't struggle out of bounds. Now they have to take a timeout.
Was a good play by Haynes. He was playing in a zone, and of course they didn't gain very many yards, but the big thing is they didn't want to let him get out of bounds.
And they made him use a timeout because of that. Butch Johnson and Landry and Danny White. Coming up at the halftime, Brent with the highlights and Jack Whitaker's legends of the game, and truly a legend. Great defensive tackle of the Dallas Cowboys, Bob Lilly.
How is that for 2 great defensive right tackles? Bob Lilly, he finally retires the whole conference size, and then here comes Randy White. Whew.
That is pretty good.
Hate to be a left guard and have to block against those guys.
Cowboys have it 2nd and 10. They're operating with the wind. Septien, I would think, needs probably at least a first down to get within reasonable range.
I would say the 30-yard line. I would say that the Cowboys need about 12 to 15 yards to get in Septien's range.
9 seconds left on the scoreboard. No score. White comes up, starts under center, and now backs off. He's in a spread from the 43. They need to get about to the 30, as John Madden said. That would be 13 yards. White looking, throws. He has Tony Hill. He had him and just didn't quite get it there. Carson was back on the coverage along with Jackson. Johnson down to 3 seconds.
Well, Septien has talked Tom Lander into it. On the play before, we saw him talking to him. He said, if we don't get a first down here, I think with this wind, I can kick it. I think with this wind, he still may need a cannon to get it that
I think he's dreaming. It'll be from 60 yards out. His longest is 52, but this is a substantial wind. Excuse me, it's cold. Longest this year, 47. Septien with 3 seconds remaining in the first half. Nope. Might as well take a chance, I guess, and the giant crowd rises to pay tribute to its defense, as they have stymied the Cowboys throughout the first half, and the score is 0-0. Another half to play, however, on this cold, windy afternoon, but there's a group of guys who don't even know it's cold.
This bud's for everybody who races the weather to bring in the harvest.
This bud's for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This bud's for you.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
Dad, I'd really like this electronic project kit.
Our exclusive Science Fair 150-in-1 electronic project kit is only $29.95. A terrific teaching device to learn to build safe, solderless battery and solar radios, transmitters, computer circuits, electronic sound effects, even LED readouts. Just one of many super educational values.
How'd you know I wanted this electronic project kit?
Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Angelo's been working overtime on his flips. He needs the deodorant that works overtime.
Senator, Joe's been working overtime to get his story. He needs the deodorant that works overtime.
Only Old Spice Stick Deodorant gives you both 24-hour protection from odor, plus that famous Old Spice scent.
Pluckett's been working overtime, learning the new plays.
Sure glad my Old Spice Stick works overtime, too.
Old Spice Stick, the deodorant that works overtime.
Holiday greetings from CBS Sports with a great lineup of events beginning Christmas Day. First, it's the Blue-Gray All-Star Classic, a top showcase for college seniors. Then, it's fast-paced NBA action as the red-hot LA Lakers take aim at the Phoenix Suns. Saturday, it's an exciting college football-basketball doubleheader. First, the Sun Bowl, where the Oklahoma Sooners with the nation's #1 rushing offense meet the tough Houston Cougars. Then it's NCAA basketball, when the Louisville Cardinals take on Ray Myers' DePaul Blue Demons, 2 top 10 teams in action. Sunday, top off your Christmas cheer with the start of the NFL playoffs, the NFC Wild Card game. Down the field and on the court, a great holiday package of pro and college action. Season's greetings from CBS Sports.
Welcome back to the news desk in New York. I'm Brent Musburger. Several ways of looking at that first half. That is a nasty, nasty football game over in the Meadowlands.
Cannot count on big play miracles against that tough Bear defense.
Control our own destiny, and we just cannot let Chicago upset us and throw this stuff back into to scramble again with San Diego.
The Bears pasted Oakland last week. They are 3-0 against the AFC West this year.
It's going to be a great ball game. I guess that's the way you want it, make it exciting right down to the last quarter.
A Tampa Bay defense sparked by Hugh Green and Leroy Selman will be the key when the Bucs and Lions battle for the NFC Central.
If we can't convince our players to throw your bodies around and be very reckless in the game, Detroit will beat us. If we play up to our capabilities and such, we have an excellent chance of winning the football game.
Tampa Bay faces not only Billy Sims, Eric Hipple and company, but the Lions' flawless 7-game record at home in Pontiac.
That's why you play this crazy game, you know, to get in one game like this where it's you and me. It's winner take all. This is it right here, right now.
Green Bay's title chances are remote, but the playoffs are within reach. This is a team on a roll. Lynn Dickey threw for 5 TDs last week.
We're going to have to play to the best of our ability because it's one of those do-or-die situations for them, too. They have to win to get in the playoffs, and they haven't been there for quite a while. So, like you've heard, it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out type of thing.
But the Pack Braves not only the Shea Stadium wind tunnel, but a New York Jets sack exchange gunning for the playoffs.
I think we have to just play like the New York Jets know how to play. Put points on the board and play the kind of defense we know how that's got us here. And we'll be a successful team on Sunday.
As you can tell, watching the first half, nasty weather in New York today. More of the same now is predicted for tomorrow's showdown between the Jets and the Packers over in Shea Stadium. And again, our coverage here on CBS will start at 12:30 tomorrow with the NFL Today. We'll take a look at all of those key games coming up. We're going to be right back with Jack Whitaker and Bob Lilly as the NFL Today continues on CBS right after these messages from your local stations.
Bill.
What?
That's my name.
Abandoned and institutionalized for 46 years, Bill was thrust back into a world that didn't care until he met a very special person.
He just needs somebody to just reach out and help him.
This is the inspiring story of a remarkable friendship and how it changed Bill's life. Mickey Rooney stars in what may be the most powerful performance of his career. Bill, a dramatic holiday special, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
That was pretty good.
This is CBS.
Do you think my husband has good taste? At the office, he's very traditional in his Van Heusen 417. But at the ball game, he opens his collar and relaxes. He really dresses up when we go out to dinner. But he feels real down home with country western music. He's a serious man at work. But at home, he gets a kick out of seeing me in his 417 shirts. Van Heusen 417, for men who are traditionalists, but not stuffy. What a changing America is changing into.
If your transmission ever breaks down, you'll probably imagine all sorts of horrors.
Fix your transmission? Fine. We have a 15-year waiting list.
Don't worry. Our mechanics are experts.
That'll be $22,000. 22.
Don't let your fears run wild. Call the transmission specialist that's fast, reliable, with over 900 locations coast to coast.
AMCO?
AMCO. Why go anywhere else?
All right, children. Who's going to be the first one to recite the alphabet? How about you, Ann?
A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, E, F, Hudson. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Secret Agents tonight.
Immediately after the Giants and the Cowboys here on CBS, we have two excellent NCAA basketball games. Some of you will see Georgetown play the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and the rest of you will watch the defending national champion Indiana Hoosiers shoot it out against Kansas State. That's right after the football. Now, in Legends of the Game, Jack Whitaker looks at a man who was 6'5", 240, all the cowboy there is, and present at the creation of a dynasty.
These are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Their roster is filled with enough stars to make a galaxy. And while they're heading for their 16th straight winning season and another trip to the playoffs, 21 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys were a winless expansion team filled with rejects and renegades.
For 5 seasons, this expansion team lost in every conceivable fashion, then invented some new ways to lose. There seemed little hope for redemption, but a young tackle named Bob Lilly remembered the turning point for Tom Landry's Cowboys.
You know, he just came in and his heart just opened up and he cried and, you know, tears came out and he got us all in there and he said, fellas, it's not your fault, it's my fault. And he said, I don't know if I'll be with the Cowboys next year. Tremendously emotional experience for all of us, and that was the turning point, I think, of the Dallas Cowboys. From then on, the Cowboys have been in the playoffs all but 1 year.
The emergence of the Cowboys as winners also marked the emergence of Bob Lilly as an all-pro tackle. There were more flashy and spectacular players, but none were more consistent. This giant slab of a man fell on opponents like concrete and played with what he called the heart for the game.
That's what I call heart, is the desire to get out there and play, whether you're hurt, whether you're well, whether you're sick, whether you feel good, whether you're behind or whether you're ahead, or whether you're playing a good team or a bad team. You know, is to go out there and perform.
Lilly's individual brilliance was dimmed by the Cowboys' failure in championship games. In Super Bowl V against the Baltimore Colts, number 74 starred, but personal triumph paled before another bitter last-second defeat.
What were your feelings when Jim O'Brien kicked that field goal in Super Bowl V?
Of course, I think that was probably the most frustrating point of my entire career. We had never made it to the Super Bowl, and we didn't know for sure that we'd ever make it back because it was pretty hard to get there the first time. And all those thoughts went through my mind. I threw my helmet quite a long ways and I almost broke a finger off doing it. One of the Baltimore guys brought my helmet back to me a few seconds later after I threw it and said, "Bob, I know how you feel." But it probably helped us as a team to get a little tougher mentally and come back the next year and do it.
In Super Bowl VI in New Orleans, Lilly and the Cowboys crushed the Miami Dolphins 24-3. Lilly roamed and raged across the Sugar Bowl, and his 27-yard sack of Bob Greasy was the longest loss in Super Bowl history. The championship was a historic first for the Cowboys, but firsts were nothing new to Bob Lilly.
He was the Cowboys' first draft choice, 7 times All-Pro. He was the first Cowboy inducted into the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and the first Cowboy enshrined here in Texas Stadium in the Ring of Honor. He is Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy.
He was something, wasn't he? But you know, the mark of a great organization is the ability to replace a Lilly, as the Cowboys did with a Randy White. Now watch the Giants, because they too are putting it together with the defense. There's George Martin on the sack. Now, the Giants should have scored on their first possession. Johnny Perkins simply dropped a touchdown pass. Rob Carpenter plays with a lot of verve. He's added a great deal to the Giant attack. And again, on their second possession, the Giants should have scored at least a field goal. But for the second time, Joe Danello misfires. Now watch here, back from the end zone, White to punt. I told you it was a nasty game. Anthony Dickerson would prefer to have this entire sequence back because he just barreled on into Leon Bright, knocked him completely out of the game. Giants were going in a third time. Ike 40 will fumble, though, and another scoring opportunity for the New Yorkers goes gurgling down the drain. Now, Irv Cross has been standing by out there on the sidelines, cold like everybody else. Irv, how are the Giants physically now? Will Perkins and Bright be able to come back?
Ben, I tell you, it's been a tough first half for the Giants. Let me give you a brief injury report as I have it right now. Leon Bright, as you indicated before, hit by Anthony Dickerson on a punt return, out with fractured ribs. Leon Perry, a possible fractured fibula, and Johnny Perkins out with a sprained left ankle. It's been a tough first half for the Giants, but I was standing by the Giants sideline on the injury to Bright, and there are a lot of angry faces over there, Brent. The second half will be a real humdinger.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And right now, let's go back up to Pat Summerall and John Madden for that second half. Pat?
All right, Brent, and I think you could tell possibly that from the way Irv Cross was looking and is dressed that it might be colder now than when the game started and could get even colder than that. This, of course, is John Madden again with me. And, John, how about the weather?
Well, I'll tell you, it's tough to play out there. You know, it's tough when you throw into the wind, that's obvious, but it's also tough when you throw with the wind. You know, Danny White has only completed 4 passes in the first half for 32 yards, and Tony Dorsett has carried the ball 9 times for a 1.4 average. Now, that's great Giant defense, but when the Cowboys don't get Tony Dorsett running or Danny White passing, they're in trouble.
John, Ray Perkins quickly said that if he was close in the fourth quarter, he thought the Giants would win. What do you think?
I agree with him.
We'll see.
The criteria for a compact copier of a different sort. It's here. The Canon NP210. A fixed copy board saves space. 21 letter-size copies a minute saves time. Copies up to ledger size. The Canon NP210 even has its own optional mini sorter. The economical Canon NP210. A compact copier of a different sort. Call toll-free for information or contact your authorized Canon dealer.
Don isn't too good at making breakfast, but last night I gave him an A in English.
Use English leather and get an A in the kind of English they don't teach in school.
I've been to school for 20 years.
But tonight he'll get an A in English.
I speak few words of your language.
But that doesn't stop him from getting an A in English.
A plus.
Get an A with English leather and women will never fail you. Aftershave and cologne for men.
This boy is known as Little Mess because mishaps seem to follow him everywhere. So rather than drag out her heavy vacuum cleaner, his mother reached for her cordless dustbuster from Black & Decker. It's light, powerful, recharges continuously, and perfect for small, fast cleanups on stairs, floors, anywhere. So if you've got a little mess around your house, get yourself a Black & Decker dustbuster. And remember, it makes a perfect gift at Christmas time, too.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, who invite you to see all the 1982 Toyota cars and trucks at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation. And by Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you.
Danilo set to kick off to begin the second half. Pat Summerall here at Giant Stadium with John Madden. James Jones back deep for Dallas. The ball is blown off the tee already 3 times for Danilo, who will be kicking with a very substantial win. That kick hangs and sails high, and Jones goes way back deep in the end zone. We're down it there. Kenny Newsom came back with him and gave him the signal to stay where he was. Don't bring it out. First half stats.
Look at those total yards. The Cowboys only had 41 total yards in the first half. The Giants had 146, and they really had 3 opportunities at scoring.
Dallas with just 2 yards passing. That's incredible. Of course, it's a tough day to throw. Here's Danny White. He had a frustrating day here last year against the Giants when they lost 38-35. Dallas did. White was coming off an injury. This time he gives to Ron Springs. Springs gets out to about the 24, where it'll be second and 6.
You know, of course, those 2 yards that we saw passing, he's thrown for 32 yards, and the way they keep the stats in the NFL is they subtract his sack yardage, so that comes up with 2 yards.
Sack yardage was done by Jeter and Martin, particularly. 2 by Martin. Drew Pearson comes out wide to the right. Cowboys going with 2 tight ends. Dorsett moves back deep in the eye. White looks, throws, intended for Drew Pearson, and he is popped hard by Beasley Reese, and Mark Haynes was underneath the whole thing.
I'll tell you, had Beasley Reese, instead of trying to hit Pearson, if he would have had his hands up, he could have gotten an interception on that one. He had said during the week that he's going to hit everything that wiggles, and maybe better catching anything that wiggles. Now watch, right there from the right, he'll come in. You see, had he had his head up and watching the ball, that could have been a possible interception.
Could have been a penalty, too.
It was a little late, wasn't it?
It was.
Wasn't that his quote? He said, I'm going to hit anything that wiggles.
Anything that wiggles. Beasley Reese started his professional career as a wide receiver in Dallas. On 3rd down, White back.
knocked the ball down. Well, that's the third time that a Giant linebacker has knocked the ball down today.
Kelly once, Taylor once, and now Byron Hunt. Here's White standing back just inside the 10, and Beasley Reese back deep for the Giants. Leon Bright, possible broken ribs. We told you that before. Reese up with a fair catch signal, and wisely so. Benny Barnes was looking in his eyes. So the Giants will have the wind at their back with their first possession of the second half. It is still 0-0, and Brunner comes on.
Out of the past into 1,000 tomorrows comes a car made of the right stuff. The 1982 Toyota Celica, aerodynamically conceived to be efficient, not just different. Its new wedge shape with retractable headlights cheats the wind for a performance not even reached in many sports cars. The 1982 Toyota Celica, the right stuff for the right time, right now. Celica.
Radio Shack Spectacular Game Sale. 2-player electronic football on sale for $19.95. Computer controlled to kick, pass, and run. Pocket repeat on sale for $7.95. Play back the colors and sounds. Beat the computer at its own game. Championship football on sale for $14.95. Call the plays for 4 quarters of action and sound. Save from 25 to 33% on 3 exciting handheld games for your kids. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Saturday, Lee Marvin, Robert Shaw, and Linda Evans find themselves the bait in an anything-goes game of espionage on the Avalanche Express. Saturday.
First half possessions by the Giants. So they missed 2 field goals. Scott Brunner, the quarterback. Leon Perry is back in the game, so obviously his x-rays were negative. Rob Carpenter stopped by Guy Brown. Guy Brown's presence, of course, means that D.D. Lewis has not returned since he strained that calf muscle. One thing that does happen on occasion is that Hegman and Brown now do swap sides on defense.
You know, we had the reports on Leon Bright that he had a fractured rib. We found out that he didn't have a fractured rib. Leon Perry didn't have a fractured fibula. We just see him play.
May be back. Here's Carpenter fighting for yardage and getting out to midfield. Bob Brunig tripped him up.
You know, that's very important that the Giants have Leon Perry back, because a big part of their running game plan was to use the bull backfield, Rob Carpenter and Perry together.
And Perry goes out, and Leon Bright is in the contest.
So no fractured rib, no fractured fibula. That's good news.
He's got his ribs all padded up, as you can see. He's on the left of Brunner, who's in the shotgun this time. 3rd down, 3. Brunner's had good protection. He had a completion and then lost it. John Missler had it bounce away.
Now someone ran a wrong pattern there, because they had two receivers in the same area. Now see if we can see it here. That's Danny Pittman on the outside, and he's running it in, and Missler's right there. In fact, Pittman ran into Missler just as the ball arrived.
That might have been a first down if he hadn't done that. Who was wrong, we don't know. Dave Jennings with the wind at his back. James Jones with the wind in his face. Jennings rips it dandy. None of the record. Jones, who fields it and is taken down immediately. The way it looked, it was Beasley Reese who's the first man down.
I'll tell you, Beasley Reese had great timing on that one, Pat, because we know the rule, you have to give him an opportunity to catch the ball. Now watch, he does it. He lets Jones catch it here. Now once he catches it, boom, you can come in and get him.
Jones came very close to fumbling that ball. Still nothing.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
He was as practical as any of us, but he hid it well. Behind a certain flair and style of living. Even the car he drove, a 1982 Cutlass Supreme. An Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. To the casual observer, it was the epitome of style, offering no visible clue as to how practical the man who owned it really was. You see, he knew. Even today, there's still room to do it with style.
Outside the 15 to about the 16 before Harry Carson and again Beasley Reese bring him to the turf. Artificial.
Well, last week against the Eagles, Tom Landry didn't call Ron Springs' number in the first half, and he hasn't done it this game much either, and now he's doing it here in the second half.
Springs goes out, Newsom comes in.
That's your nose tackle here, Neil. You see, he gets a double team. He's on the center. The guard comes and helps. He gets turned around. By the time he figures out where the ball is, Ron Springs has run right by him.
And got 9 yards. 11:55 left, third quarter. That's Tony Dorsett, and he'll have a Dallas first down at about the 20. Lawrence Taylor made the stop. Pat Haggerty, again the referee. Newsom comes out and Springs comes back. Telling Danny White play.
You know, Tony Dorsett was the leading rusher in the National Football League. How many yards do you think he needs to stay ahead of George Rogers?
I'd say he needs probably 80 today. And he's nowhere near that. Fumble! And the scramble. I think Danny White might have gotten it back. The Giants had a couple of shots at it, but couldn't come up with it.
I'll tell you, that was a big play for the Cowboys coming up with this. Now watch, as he goes off to the right here, Ron Springs. Oh, he just had to reach for that handoff, and it just went right out beyond the Byron Hunt was right there. Springs fumble, and Danny White sees the ball and brings it right underneath the stomach. Watch this, you see he had to reach. Danny White darn near had to dive to get out there.
And he has to dive again. Good play. 2nd and 15 from the 15. White rolls, throws, Dupree has it. Billy Joe will have a first down. White was lucky to get rid of it. Mark Haynes, the defender.
I'll tell you, that's when you like to have a quarterback who is a great athlete, who can move and run, because probably 80% of the quarterbacks in the National Football League would have been sacked right here or not gotten that ball off. He not only does, but he hits Billy Joe Dupree on the run with it.
Cowboys pick up the first out to the 32. Billy Joe Dupree hasn't been one of his vintage years, but it's been a steady year. Let Cosby and Dupree now. 2 tight ends operate for Dallas. Hand off Dorsett. They have stymied him all day long. This time again led by number 57, Byron Hunt.
And I'm sure the Cowboys' game plan is they were just going to work that right side. And it really hasn't worked all day.
That is up to date. That's Dorsett's lead over the New Orleans rookie George Rogers. 62 yards now. He had 40 going in, so he has that much. Well, that doesn't add up, does it?
And of course, George Rogers plays against the San Francisco 49ers tomorrow.
Pearson and Hill, Drew and Tony out to the right. Here's Dorsett trying to get around the corner. And again, Brian Kelly and the Giant defense converge very quickly.
You know one thing, against the 3-man line with 4 linebackers, the toughest thing to do is to sweep. And when you have 4 linebackers who just play up and down that line of scrimmage, you're not going to get outside.
Terry Jackson limping just a little bit as he came back to the Giant defensive huddle. Bill Tabor and Mike Dennis Stetson. Here's Danny White. As if he didn't expect it. Mike Dennis back there with him.
I'll tell you, the Giants use on the passing downs, they use 5 defensive backs, and that's why Mike Dennis was in there, and he really had good coverage that time on Butch Johnson.
Giants once again will get the win. Beasley Reese goes back deep. White's had a busy day. This will be punt number 7 for him. They're coming. That one is going to be tough to handle. Almost lost it. Almost lost it.
I'll tell you, Danny White doesn't have the best punting average, but he punts the toughest balls to catch. Watch the trouble that Beasley Reese has here. He misjudged it. It was out in front of him. He fumbled right through, but he recovered his own.
Landed on top of it, fortunately. 30 yards all for White. They almost got the football. Nothing. It remains.
Stetson, cologne for men. When your man likes his fragrance with style, Stetson fits. When he likes it easy to wear, Stetson fits. When he likes his fragrance comfortable, and it's a feeling you share. Stetson fits. Stetson cologne for men.
Can you remember the gift you got last year? A lot of people can't. But here's one gift you'll remember for years.
The Minolta XGM. It's an automatic 35mm SLR that's built to defy comparison. Designed with a unique combination of features. Optional motor drive and access to over 45 Minolta lenses. So if you're looking for a gift in a class by itself, give the camera in a class by itself. The Minolta XGM.
Saturday on Walt Disney. Come on! 2 children with unworldly powers running from evil men.
Close in on them.
In their daring escape to Witch Mountain. Saturday.
When the Giants have had the football today, they've had a good chance to come out of the blocks from good field position. They haven't been able to capitalize yet. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. Leon Perry with Carpenter in the backfield. It's Perry and Leon, who we thought at one point today might have had a broken bone in his leg. Doesn't run like it, does he? Guy Brown made the stop.
Look at those fans. They must put on every bit of clothing that they own to come out here and sit in the stadium.
The event you joined us late. It was 23 degrees with a 20-mile-an-hour wind when the game started. And if anything, it's gotten colder. Perry picked up 7. On second down, it'll be Carpenter. Carpenter will have a Giant first. He's knocked backwards. Just depends on where they mark it. Mike Downs came up and hit him along with Bob Brunig. That'll be close to a first.
You know, one person that has to be doing a good job is the Giant right tackle, Gordon King. Ray Perkins says we want to run to the right. That's a too tall Jones, and Gordon King has been doing a good job of blocking him over there today.
He really has. Too tall has batted down one pass. Gordon has certainly held his own. They shift around on defense. Martin way back off the line. Bruner throws. Young has the catch in the first down. He's been able to hold on today. Charlie Waters made the stop. That's a formation that's caused a previous problem.
You can still cheer them. You know, I was talking about the tough thing thrown about to the right is too tall Jones. Now watch the right-hand side here. You see, he takes him on. Gordon King takes too tall on right on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't let him get off the line of scrimmage so Bruner can step and throw the ball. Watch it here. Now watch. He'll take him on short. The right tackle, 72. Boom! Right now on the line of scrimmage. Keep him on that line of scrimmage. Boom! The ball's gone.
Keep after him like that, and he can't get his arms up. Carpenter, flea flicker coming. Knocked straight up in the air, and caught by Perry. How about that completion? Mike Hegman batted the ball up in the air, but it still Likely.
Aikman tips the ball.
Comes right down to Perry. Bob Brunig made the stop. First down, Giants at the Dallas 23. They're back in field goal game range again. Carpenter over the right side. Landry on the sideline pacing around. Attorney Stockner waving his arms. Second and 7 at the 20.
I think it's important for the Giants now, of course, that they just stay solid here. You know, we know that they get down there the first time and they missed a field goal. They got down there the second time and they missed a field goal. They got down there the third time and they had a turnover. So I'm sure they're thinking stay solid, no turnovers.
Second and 7 at the 20. Ernest Gray, John Missler, both to the left, and now Gray swings in motion. Leonard and throw. Looking. Touchdown. I believe the man who caught the pass was Rob Carpenter. Still not sure. Got hit very early. May have been Missler.
I thought it was John Missler down there in the right corner, a rookie from Arizona, number 85. So you see it here again. Good pass protection on the right side. Bruner can step up, and he throws it up over, and it's a perfect pass. Jeez, what a catch though!
It's Mulledy.
That was Tom Mulledy, the tight end, who was split out to the right side.
Mike Downs was the man who hit him right at the goal line. It was a delayed call, and by the time they said touchdown, there was a mob scene over there. Mello will kick, and Bruner will hold. 7-0 if he hits in favor of the Giants, and he does. 4:48 left in the third quarter.
Here it is, one more time. Again, Mulledy was split out to the right. It really is good defense. Look, it's double coverage right there. Mulledy jumps up, gets the ball, and into the end zone.
Amazing catch by Tom Mulledy.
Toyota asked to compare their new long bed sport truck to our Jaguar XJ6. And we laughed. Granted, the Toyota truck is well appointed. I say, 4-speed automatic overdrive. Handles most nimbly. Still, we laughed. Until Toyota told us we both had to carry a piano.
Feels like a car, works like a truck.
There is nothing like a frosty, cold glass of beer when you're thirsty. But what about those times when you have a thirst for more than one beer? That's what Schaefer beer is all about. Schaefer, smooth and satisfying, beer after beer.
Schaefer is the one beer to have. One beer to have. When you're having more than one.
7-0 as Tom Mulledy comes up with his first touchdown reception of the season. James Jones standing back deep for Dallas, and Danilo will kick off. That drive by the Giants, 6 plays, 62 yards. Kept the ball 3 minutes, 28 seconds, and the ball blows away from Danilo again. Don't forget a lot of big ones tomorrow on CBS. It all begins with the NFL today. Tampa Bay and Detroit for the NFC Central Championship. Green Bay and the Jets. Most of you in this area and in Wisconsin will see that one. And Giant fans will be watching intently. Beasley Reese comes over to hold it now. Jones goes way back deep in the end zone. Newsome again said stay there.
That was the thing that Ray Perkins was talking about, Pat. He says, you know, in the first half, we've never been a team to get off to a fast start. But if we can stay close or even, we can get them in the second half. And if we're close or even in the fourth quarter, he said, we will win. Okay, right?
2:41 left to play third quarter. Perkins obviously knew what he was speaking of. See what happens to the Cowboys now. They're still using Tony Dorsett. Now they move him over to the left. Dorsett stopped by Haynes after perhaps a yard. Beasley Reese came up to make the force, and there was a vicious hit on him, and he's complaining about that. I didn't see who made the block, but Haynes made a good play.
He was right up to the outside. Again, the strong side linebacker, Byron Hunt, he kept it solid so that Dorsett had to go all the way to the outside, and then he was able, Mark Haynes was able to come up. Let's watch it. You see the guards pulling? He tries to dip in there. He can't. There's Kelly. There's Taylor. He has to go to the outside. Mark Haynes
2 yards for Dorsett. 2nd and 8 from the 22. Giants up now 7-0. Pearson in motion. White will throw. A lot of time this time. He throws outside to Dupree. BJ hits Carson. Lowers the shoulder and rumbles up the sideline.
One thing about these Cowboys, they have so many weapons on offense that it's just a matter of time before they're going to start getting them going. Oh, geez, man. Getting them going.
And it's cold, too. White 6 out of 17, 60 yards. First down as Dorsett trots out. Jones has taken his place. Good extra effort by Billy Joe Dupree to get that first down. Giants leading 7-0. Springs and Jones. Back behind White. Handoff Springs. And Springs outside the 35. Brian Kelly on the bottom of the pile. Springs got maybe 4.
Tom Landry was telling us last night that Tony Dorsett has been having a little back problem. And he says he really doesn't have 100% range of motion and movement. And there'd be nothing worse on a cold day like this than a bad back. Whew.
He has put him back in. Certainly not one of his better days. And Dorsett moves again back deep in the eye. 2nd down, 6 from the 36. Pearson in motion. Hand off again to Springs, and he's wide and high over the right side, tripped up by Kelly. Couple is all.
Kelly really did trip him up. What he did when he saw the ball come to that side, he penetrated and got into the backfield.
Kelly, another of those veterans with the Giants who have waited a long time for this, 9 years in fact. And in any of those years, no playoffs.
He's the giant linebacker that makes all the calls. They signal into him, and he makes all the calls and the adjustments in the defensive huddle.
Jones in the game again. James. Crosby came in motion. Here comes the rush from Hunt. Jones has the first down, Dallas. Outside the 43, Harry Carson there with him to make the initial hit.
Again here, he has good pass protection so he can step up. He finds Jones right in there. It was a middle of his zone, and then the zone converges on him, but he has the first down.
Dallas out to the 43. The Giants leading 7-0. A minute 50 left third quarter. A must-win situation for the Giants.
You see those cowboy pants in the huddle there? They have their numbers on their pants.
Here's White. Intended for Cosby. And the wind just blew it away from him. Bill Courier on the defensive position, but incomplete.
You know, they've had so much trouble with those blue jerseys that Tex Schramm designed new ones this offseason. And in designing the blue jerseys, he also put numbers on the pants. They're the only team in the NFL that has that, and I think that's a pretty good-looking thing. But look at their record with the blue uniforms. It's the only losing record they have in anything, I think.
They're 2-1. 2 wins and a loss in these new blues, but losing overall. Here's White, draw play, Springs, breaks a loose from one tackle, but Bill Courier does manage to hang on. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
We talk about this Giant defense, and they have a new defensive coordinator this year, Bill Parcells, who was at one time with the New England Patriots and with Ray Perkins, and he's done an outstanding job.
Dorsett comes out. Butch Johnson is in, and so is James Jones. Butch Johnson and Drew Pearson go wide left. Tony Hill wide right. The 8th for first. Intended for Tony Hill, who has it. Still on his feet is Tony Hill. Hill breaks to the middle. Tony Hill threw a shoe at the 20-yard line, but he'll have a Dallas first down deep in Giant territory. Bill Courier.
It was just a matter of time. You know, Tony Hill had dropped 2 passes in the first half. This one, he's on Mark Haynes. Now watch the whole thing here. 36th man-to-man. He makes the move. He gets up beyond them. He brings him in a little. He freezes him there, then works back to the outside. Haynes goes for it, just throw right over his shoulder. Now watch here. He makes the little move. He's going to lose his shoe. Right there.
43-yard gain on that pass hookup. Tony Hill having another outstanding year. Closing in on that 1,000-yard figure for the 3rd consecutive year. If indeed he makes it, that's never been done by a Cowboy receiver 3 years in a row. End of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Giants 7, the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
It is entirely possible that the 3 words parents fear most are some assembly required. So we'd just like you to know that you can easily attach an exciting Atari home video game to your television set in under 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. When you think about that, it's not surprising that Atari makes the world's most popular video game.
We at American Tourister know that waiting for every suitcase is the unexpected. That's why we reinforce our beautiful American Tourister lightweights with a steel frame, rugged rubber wheels, and tough protective corners. To us at American Tourister, it's not just how good it looks, it's how long it looks good.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. IBM, helping put information to work for people. And by Smooth and Mellow Michelob.
Dallas 1st and 10 from the 11, so they can't make a first down without scoring. 7-0. The Giants leading Dallas. 1st and 10. Danny White has Springs and Dorsett behind him. Long count. Drew Pearson swings behind him. Hand off Dorsett. Dorsett barrels down to about the 7. Harry Carson is on the bottom of that pile and the first man to make contact. 4th quarter scoring for Dallas, 101 points against their opponents' 50. 5 times this year they've come from behind in the 4th quarter to win it. Twice against the Eagles.
That's what we were saying earlier. You know, they have so many weapons. They're wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, kickers. They have everything, you know, going for them, and it's just a matter of time before they'll get to it.
And they have the wind in this 4th quarter. James Jones and Dorsett now the runners for Dallas. Dorsett again. Hits down inside the 5 to about the 4. George Martin made the stop. Let's check out the middle and see what made it work.
That's usually what does make things work here. Now watch, we'll see number 77. We see Bill Neal there. He has to get underneath that center. He gets underneath Rafferty. Good battle going there. Keep your feet going. He gets double teamed, pushed off, and George Martin comes back in and makes the play. But they got that middle sealed off. They got Neal sealed off. They have a little soft spot inside.
3rd and 3. The ball at the 4-yard line. Dorsett and Springs now the running back tandem as Salvi swings out in motion. Lawrence Taylor after everybody. Cosby has a touchdown, Dallas. Bill Courier couldn't quite get 6-6. Tom Landry, they scored, but you couldn't tell it by his reaction.
No, you can't. But, the closer you get to the goal line, the more important the tight end is. But watch what an athlete Danny White is here. Lawrence Taylor is coming in. Watch, he's right at his feet. Instead of stepping forward and throw, he had to step backward, but he still found his big tight end, Doug Cosby, there. Watch, we'll see it again. Watch Lawrence Taylor come. He's one of the best blitzers in this league. Watch, he's right at his leg there, and Danny White had to step to the left and throw it out there.
Raphael Septien, you just saw tie the score at 7. We'll be back with more of the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants, where the score is tied at 7-7 after this word from your local station.
New Year's Day, the legendary Bear Bryant and his Alabama Crimson Tide meet the Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. A Happy New Year on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
The people who made Japan's first camera are still doing things first with the only SLR to load itself by itself, the Konica FS1.
To get the best beer in the world, you have to speak German. Beck's. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Adopt any of the hundreds of free dogs, free cats, pure breeds, puppies, or kittens at North Shore Animal League in Port Washington, Long Island. Open till 10 p.m. every day.
After a tough practice, you probably think I use a deodorant soap. No way. I made a break from deodorant soaps a long time ago. A clean break with Ivory.
Wow.
Ivory's a basic natural soap to give you an honest clean. You see, Ivory doesn't mix up clean with heavy perfumes or deodorant. Ivory's made to do just one thing. Get me as clean as I can be. That's an honest clean.
Make a clean break. With Ivory, no soap can get you cleaner than that, no matter how hard you try.
Louis Rukeyser's Business Journal, Sunday morning.
Tie game at Giant Stadium, 7-7. Raphael Septien will kick off. Danny Pittman back deep for the Giants. Septien waiting for the ball to get set like he wanted it. Line drive kick. Hits Pittman in the head. Goes into the end zone, they drop it, fumble it, and the Cowboys are there, and the Giants will go from the one. They almost got a safety. Beasley Reese did pick it up, but that almost gave Dallas the lead.
Andy Pittman has something on there in his right hand or wrist, but that ball just took one of those bad hops and bounced up and hit him right in the face. And Beasley Reese got it. It was too late for him to do anything with it. It was like one of those short stops. Remember in the old days, you're down there and you're ready to catch a ball and it hits a rock, boom, hits you in the head.
Happened in the World Series one time. Hit Tony Kubek in the throat. 1960. Rob Carpenter, Leon Perry, the two runners. Standing way deep in the end zone. Carpenter gets to the outside, bounces off one, gets some running room out to the 5. Harvey Martin came across from the opposite side of the field to make the stop.
This is a very big series because one thing, the Giants are backed up, and two, they'll have to kick or throw into the wind.
So they need a couple of first downs right now. They give Carpenter 4. He got it out for a little bit of breathing room. 2nd and 6. Score tied at 7 in the fourth quarter. 12:40 left to play. Will throw out of his own end zone and does. Young had it and dropped it. Guy Brown. They got the coverage they wanted. Brown out there with him.
I'll tell you, you can't ask Scott Bruner to do any more than he did on that play. You know, coming off your goal line and making a throw like he did.
That's J.T. Turner. Giants have had some people who appeared earlier to be hurt seriously. And 2 of them have come back. The only one who didn't was Johnny Perkins. J.T. Turner. And he's had a few of those losing, frustrating years around here after spending some time in the World Football League. It is still 7-7. The Dallas Cowboys against the Giants.
Look
EXP.
Brand new two-seat, moving to the upbeat. You and me will leave the world behind us. Catch us if you find us.
Introducing life's most exciting number, 2. As in he and she, you and me, and high-mileage two-seat Ford EXP.
Look out, world.
Ford EXP for the two of you. Just the two of you.
Here comes new, here comes now, here comes Ford.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend. Boy meets girl style. Meeting over a Michelob can show that special someone just how special you are. So don't just make a date for the weekend. Set the mood anytime with a smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
I knew she couldn't refuse an invitation like this.
Put a little weekend in your week. Yeah.
J.T. Turner walking off and replaced by Roy Simmons. There's Simmons coming out of the huddle. 3rd down and 6 from the 5. Leon Bright in the backfield. Bruner standing in his end zone. The wide receivers also involved in this play. Cowboys do not blitz. Bruner firing deep for Missler. Almost had it picked off by Downs. Downs still running. Intercepted. That's as good as a punt, however. Maybe better.
That is, the Giants were going to go for it. They had 3rd down, and they wanted to get it out of there on one play, and Missler had him for a step, but Michael Downs makes a great recovery on this. Watch, we'll see Missler here. You see he's there. He really has a step on him, it looks like, and watch Michael Downs. He sees the ball in the air. He goes for it, grabs it with his left hand, brings it in for the interception, and the whistle blew right there. Stolen a lot of the play from Michael Downs, who is also a rookie, who has also had an outstanding year.
That is his 7th pass interception of the year. The Cowboys lead the entire league in that category. Here's White. Looked like a missed handoff for a minute. That's not missed as Dupree holds on and is really cracked by Mark Haynes.
The one thing that is interesting here, Pat, is early in the game, the Cowboys were going with regular drop-back passes, and they didn't have a lot of success. Now they're starting this type of thing, these waggles, bootlegs, Danny White running a little more, buying a little time, and being able to find his receiver.
And again, as you pointed out about White before, it sure is nice to have a good athlete back there who can throw it on the move. James Jones back deep, back behind Springs. On 1st down, the give is to Springs. Springs will nudge it inside the 30. Gary Jeter wrapped him up. The interception leaders, you mentioned Dallas leads the entire NFL. 11 for Walls, 9 for Thurman, and 7 for Downs. All playing either new positions as rookies, or in the case of Thurman, a new position for him.
That's an amazing thing. I always thought that it was very tough for a rookie to play defensive back in the National Football League. But the Cowboys have 2 of them, and the 49ers have 3.
Pitch back Dorsett. Dorsett rolls down to the 25, and if you're thinking about such things already, they're in Septien's range already. Kelly and Carson, the 2 linebackers in the middle, make the stop for the Giants. That defense, that Giant defense, has been on the field a lot.
I'll tell you, and they've done a job. They've done a job against the run and the pass. They've really been solid today. They've done the job all year.
3rd down and 4 from the 25. Danny White sends Drew Pearson out wide to the left with Doug Crosby. The shotgun and has time. Crosby will have a Dallas 1st down. Out of bounds at about the 17.
I'll tell you, once these Cowboys get these combinations going and they're going to their backs, to the different tight ends, to everyone, we'll see Crosby. He'll start inside. We'll see Pearson outside. He runs to the inside. Crosby runs to the outside. Danny White hits him. Boom, right there. Lawrence Taylor is playing man-to-man on Crosby short. You see, he has him. It takes that out, and boom, he just can't catch up with it.
That's a pretty tough job for any linebacker, even as good as Taylor is. First down, Dallas at the 17. Springs fell down, gets up, almost lost the ball. A little bit of concern yesterday, particularly because they had some snow and some rain during the week, about whether or not this artificial surface would be very slick, and Springs just fell down on that last play.
You know, when the Cowboys warmed up today, they were having a lot of problems slipping. And that one there, they just dodged a bullet there. They're lucky that the Giants didn't recover that fumble.
There's Raphael Septien over with his little dwelling.
They all have some gimmick to kick into, don't they?
I never had a house like that. Here's White looking for Pearson. Jackson almost picked it off. Again, those two have a little engagement.
All the talk this year has been about Mark Haynes, but of all the Giant games that we've done, this Terry Jackson has been an outstanding corner. He's made big plays like this, big interceptions every time that we've seen him.
Especially in the last half of the year.
Did you see Drew Pearson come around there after he just brought that overhand right along on Terry Jackson, who's still talking to the official about it?
And Jackson took a swing at him.
That was Beasley Reese that was talking to the official about Jackson.
Terry has a brother who is a reasonably good cornerback. You know about him.
Yeah, I had him at Oakland.
3rd and 12. Again, the shotgun. White again gets away from the rush from Byron Hunt, looking for somebody. Throws in the end zone. Going to be a jump ball. No interference flags called. Tony Hill, I believe, was the intended receiver, although Pearson was back there as well. And now it'll be 4th down, Dallas. Septien will come on.
That was an incompletion, but that was sure a great move by this man here, Danny White. Any other quarterback, or most of them, would have been sacked right there.
Isn't that an amazing statistic? 19 out of 20 this year inside the 40.
I tell you, he's an amazing guy. He's the leading scorer in the National Football League. And if you ever started a team and you wanted to take one person with you, this guy here, number 1, wouldn't be a bad one.
From 37 yards out, Raphael Septien. Running long enough, and good. And Dallas again has come from behind in the 4th quarter. They haven't won it yet, but they lead with 9:12 left to play, 10-7.
Next Sunday, the playoffs begin, and the action is on CBS Sports. Now, through the Super Bowl, stay with the winners, the NFL on CBS Sports.
Raphael Septien has Dennis Thurman upholding the ball so it doesn't blow off the tee. Leon Bright back deep for the Giants. Remember, they almost lost it to a safety a minute ago when they mishandled the kickoff. That again is going to be hard to handle. That's Pittman. Bright picks it up. A lot of room. Leon Bright caught from behind by Michael Downs, or he might have taken it all the way back. He had bad ribs. They thought he might have some broken earlier. He almost went all the way.
You can see that he has a flak jacket on there, and he came up holding his ribs, but he makes a great move here, and the only one in front of him was the kicker, Raphael Septien, until Michael Downs catches him from behind. Look, Septien takes a shot, just slows him up, and Mike Downs comes in and tackles him from behind. Well, that would have been a score.
Giants out quickly. Leon Bright in pain. Bruner drops. Throws it outside to Rob Carpenter. Dragged down by Mike Hegman. But he got 8 yards. They moved to the Dallas 45.
You know, an interesting thing is we see Johnny Bright on the sideline here. As the Giants have played the whole season. They go into the last 8 minutes. They've been last in the National Football League in offense. It doesn't make any difference. It's what they do now.
J.T. Turner is back in the lineup. Looking across at John Dutton. Bruner gives to Carpenter. Carpenter tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Harvey Martin comes over from the other side, but Hegman made the stop.
Hegman did. He came on a blitz that time, and the Cowboys are doing more blitzing. Watch the outside linebacker, Hegman there. He just knifes into the inside, and he catches Rob Carpenter before he can get started.
Third down, 2 at the 45. Brunner has been the quarterback for the last part of the season for the Giants. His numbers aren't spectacular, but he's done a steady good job. Young is out wide to the right. They give to Carpenter, and he'll have the first down with an extra surge. Ed Jones wrapped him up, but it's a first down.
Those Giants fans, go, they're saying. Again, it was third down, but the Giants were thinking in terms of 2 plays. If they didn't get it, they sure would have gone on fourth down. There's no tight end. They're just going to work the middle in here. See the center blocks to the right. The fullback leads, and Carpenter comes right in behind him.
Carpenter carries again. That's his 23rd carry of the day. He had 78 yards. That'll put him close to 80, maybe 81. Dutton and Hegman, the 2 tacklers, and Jones on the bottom of the pile as well. 7:25 left to play. Cowboys leading the Giants 10-7.
As you look at Rob Carpenter there in the huddle, he's a lot bigger than you would think with a name like Rob.
230.
You tend to think he's a smaller guy.
Or a wide receiver.
Rob would make a nice wide receiver.
From the 38. Long count. It's Brunner. Under pressure has Perry. The pressure was from Dutton. He didn't have much time to throw. Hegman was back there with Perry.
I think Leon Perry had a turn. He was looking for the ball over his right side and it was thrown over his left. Let's see, the ball's coming right at you now. Did you see how he had a turn? He was looking over his right side and the ball was thrown. Oh, here comes the ball. I got it. Look it into your hand. What?
Did you drop it, John?
Huh? No. I looked it right into my hands. And I was out of bounds.
They got another ball. Third down, 7 at the 38. Missler in motion. Here's Brunner, look out. Brunner goes down in the grasp of Ed Jones, but forced by Dutton. And it'll be fourth down. The Giants will have to punt it. Way out of field goal range.
You watch these guys come off the field. There's Too Tall Jones, and they talk about the Cowboys have clinched it, and they won't. I'll tell you, they're playing awfully hard out there today.
Dave Jennings should be aware of the fact that he's a pretty good passer. Line drive kick will go down near the goal line. And right there, as it spins on its end, is Beasley Reese and Frank Marion to down it. So the Cowboys will take over once again deep in their own territory with 6:23 left to play and leading by 3.
For the past 4 years, the Sylvania Superset has beaten RCA and Zenith in an independent test for best overall color picture.
What about Sony?
And now, for the 5th time, more people once again picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith for best color picture.
What about Sony?
And this year, we even tested against Sony and won. The Sylvania Superset.
All across the country, you'll see signs announcing the best gas mileage car in America. The Honda Civic 1300 FE with an estimated EPA 41 miles per gallon and a remarkable 55 estimated highway miles per gallon. Use 41 for comparison. Your mileage may vary. So every time you see this sign, think of this car, the new fuel-efficient Honda Civic.
Honda, we make it simple.
John, here's good punting technique.
It sure is, and this is how a punter stays warm. See, they don't get to run a lot, so they kick it and they run and they see it's good, then they run back the other way. Dave Jennings was happy with that one. He did just what he wanted.
Hit on its nose and spun dead on the 5-yard Dorsett, the lone runner, behind Danny White. And Dorsett gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. Lawrence Taylor led the defense.
Watch Lawrence Taylor come from the outside. He's right up on the line of scrimmage. He's going to give him what they call a hard corner. Come from the outside. He didn't have a chance, Dorsett, did he?
That is a hard corner. The rookie, Lawrence Taylor, second man taken in the draft this year, right after George Rogers.
You know, in the three-man line, that's how you press the run. Instead of playing your linebackers loose, you play them tight.
They give Dorsett a yard. Now he moves back deep in the eye with a blocker in front of him, Ron Springs. Handoff Springs. Springs gets a few. Out about to the 9, and there again is number 56, Lawrence Taylor.
I don't have to vote for the Rookie of the Year, but if I did, watch this guy here. He takes on Doug Crosby, puts him in the backfield, waits, sees Springs, boom, and takes him down. I think great players make great plays when you need them.
There are a lot of good rookies this year in the NFL. There are a lot of good players in the Pro Bowl, too. Carson and Taylor, the two linebackers for the Giants, and 7 members of the Dallas Cowboys. James Jones and Dorsett as White apparently will throw it. Standing at his end zone, he has Ron Springs, James Jones out of the backfield, and Dallas also has some breathing room.
Danny White liked that one. You see he's bluffing. He said, we know we need a first down here. We can't give him good field position. See, he had a good snap, good pass protection. And he can find Jones right in there underneath the linebackers. And then Lawrence Taylor comes and makes his 3rd tackle in a row.
Boy, there was a good shot of Danny White catching the ball from the center in the shotgun. We talked about it last week, about him looking through the ball and looking at the defense at the same time.
Which is one of the big reasons that the Cowboys are so successful in the shotgun.
Dorsett jiggling and juking around out to about the 25. A pickup of maybe 4. Beasley Reese made the tackle. But more importantly now, as far as the Giants are concerned, is the Cowboys with that first down are able to keep the football and keep that clock moving. Less than 4 minutes left to play.
Dorsett, 36 yards.
He is now 76 yards ahead of George Rogers, who plays tomorrow for the Saints against San Francisco. And you'll see it on CBS in some parts of the country. Jones in motion. Out to Jones. Hit immediately by Terry Jackson. What a play.
Terry Jackson read that one, and he was right up there. I think what the Cowboys were trying to do is they were trying to get Billy Joe Dupree out to block Terry Jackson. Terry Jackson, watch him, he'll come up. You see Dupree come here? He's trying to get him. He gets there too late. He runs into Jones.
He got Jones' helmet right in his midsection, and he had to come out.
Boy, now there's a guy whose elevator doesn't go to the top.
I suppose you could call him a fan. Third down, long yardage. White, a lot of time. Down the middle, Drew Pearson. And that'll dig him out of a deeper hole. Harry Carson made the stop. But Pearson again in the clutch.
Look at that. You talk about a clutch. Look at that Danny White. Is he a cool guy? Now we see here, they have a slot. We'll see both receivers coming off. Here comes Drew Pearson to the inside. He just works in. Boom, right there. Well, those guys take some pounding after they catch that ball, don't they?
You just wonder how and why they get up. The Giants have taken a timeout. They'll have 2 left. There are 2 minutes, 14 seconds left to play in this season, perhaps, for the Giants.
Here's a great gift idea. Give the Olympus OM10, and you'll never worry about what to give again. Start with the OM10 for great pictures automatically. Then give an Olympus flash, an Olympus telephoto lens, an Olympus auto winder, all from the OM system. Over 200 gifts made to fit the OM10. Give the Olympus OM10, and you'll never worry about what to give again.
Radio Shack's spectacular Christmas stereo sale.
I just got a great buy for my stereo system. These Radio Shack speakers, on sale now for $39.95 each. That's half price. A real bargain. A two-way bass reflex system, incredible bass, clear crisp highs, and a rich walnut veneer finish. Looks great. Sounds great. Radio Shack's 2-for-1 speaker buy makes stereo really affordable.
On sale now for $39.95 each. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Next, Kansas State faces Indiana, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas meets Georgetown in exciting regional NCAA basketball action. Get into the spirit with CBS Sports next.
2 minutes, 14 seconds left to play. Dallas 10, all 10 coming in the fourth quarter. The Giants 7. Dallas picked up a couple of clutch first downs, one on a catch by Jones, that one on a catch by Pearson. Pitch back to Dorsett, he lost it. Ball is on the ground and the Giants have it. George Martin made the recovery. Listen to this crowd. First and 10 from the 45-yard line of Dallas. 2:08 left to play. Bruner gives to Perry. Penalty marker goes down. Penalty flag down.
And that's going to be against the Giants holding.
Oh, what a tough one that is.
I'll tell you why it was so tough, because it was late. It was way after the ball carrier had passed him, and he didn't need it. He didn't have to do it.
Dallas territory, and now instead of being in the plus side, they're in the minus side.
Holding, number 73, offense.
There was a left tackle, Jeff Weston. Now watch, he'll come from the left of your screen. See him, 73. He's coming here on a trap. He turns, he starts up the field. He's on Bob Bruning, the middle linebacker. He gets him right there. But, you know, I think when he called it, though, it was later than that.
Here's Bruner firing for Young, incomplete. Mike Downs was close, and it'll be second down and 20. That'll stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And the officials will visit with Perkins and Landry. And with 2 minutes left to play, Dallas still is the owner of a 3-point lead.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, downbeat style. Whether it's jazz, classical, country, or rock, music and Michelob is always the perfect arrangement, because that smooth and mellow taste helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Put a little weekend in your week.
John Madden at Giant Stadium. Dallas leading 10-7. Giants have 2 timeouts remaining. Bruner comes out on 2nd and 20 from the 45-yard line.
One thing, of course, with 1 minute 58 seconds and down by 3, they have 3 plays. It's second down, but they'll definitely go on 4th. So they need that 25 yards, but they have 3 plays to get it.
Young is spit out wide to the right. Has some time, throws out intended for Perry. He just couldn't get it to him. The Dallas defender, Benny Barnes, had slipped down. Perry, you might recall, we thought he had broken a bone in his
you said, Benny Barnes, who was covering Perry, slipped and fell down, and had Perry caught that, there was no one on him.
So it'll be 3rd and 20 from the 45. Leon Bright comes into the Giant backfield along with Carpenter. Pittman comes out wide right. Missler and Gray are over to the left. Missler in motion. Bruner from the shotgun. Throws. Pass is caught. Dennis Thurman was the defender. Missler made the catch, but it will still be much shy of a first down, and the Giants have to burn a timeout.
I'm sure that they want one now because they only have one down left. They're 4th down. They have about 12 yards to go, and they need a first down. They only have one more play to get it. Joe Danello's getting ready there, but he's anticipating that they'll get a first down. I think Scott Bruner was smart to take the timeout because you only have one play, and you better talk that one over.
It'll be 4th and 13, this situation. The Giants had to win today, and the Jets defeat Green Bay tomorrow, or St. Louis beat Philadelphia to have a realistic chance for the playoffs.
Talk about pressure on a young second-year quarterback. It's right here on Scott Bruner right now with this one play.
That was Ray Perkins, very cold-looking Ray Perkins over on the sideline.
I think if anyone were on the sideline and they were warm-looking, you'd have to check something.
Could be something wrong, yeah, except for that guy with no shirt. He was on a different sideline. 4th and 13. Bruner being chased. Bruner throws. He has Missler. Missler fighting to get out of bounds, and he does. And now they're in field goal range. Ron Fellows knocked him out of bounds.
You talk about pressure, and you talk about a young quarterback. He did it. He talked to Ray Perkins about the play. They come up with something, but he made it by a little scramble here. Watch. He was rushed by John Dutton. He got by him, found Missler, threw it right where he had to Missler. Watch Ray Perkins' reaction. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Got it? We get it? Yeah. Oh, boy. This is what football's all about.
Man, 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line of Dallas. Bruner gives to Perry, and Perry barrels down to the 20. They let the clock run. They play for overtime. Don't forget that early in the game, Danello has already missed twice.
I'm sure that he has that out of his mind by now. You know, kickers have to be able to do that. They have to be able, whatever happens, they can't worry about it the next time.
2nd down, 3. Carpenter's hit for a loss. And indeed, they are playing for overtime. Mike Hegman made that clutch tackle.
That's his second big play by Mike Hegman, doing the same thing. It doesn't look like the Giants are ready for that outside linebacker to blitz.
One of the Dallas players looking over to the sideline to find out what defense Ernie Stotner wants on the field now.
Well, it's a pass defense. The Giants are really wasting time here, and they just took a timeout. Whew, that wasn't very good.
And Perkins just shakes his head. He knows it wasn't very good. On 3rd down, now what do you do? Just sit on it and put it in Danello's lap?
I would take a shot in the end zone. You know, there's a place to pass the ball here, and it's in the end zone to that second pylon. You know, where you can throw it. If you catch it, it's a touchdown, and if you don't, it goes out of bounds.
If you're thinking overtime, and obviously Ray Perkins is, and so is Joe Danello, Dallas is 3-1 in overtime games. The Giants are 1-4, and 1-1 this year. They beat Atlanta in overtime.
Joe, don't take too many kicks now. You don't want to leave it there in the net. Just take a few, just get warmed up, save that leg, man. Okay, yeah, that's enough.
That's what Jennings just told him.
Yep.
He doesn't believe it.
I remember George Blanda wouldn't do a thing. He would sit on his helmet till it was time to go in. He wanted to save every kick he had.
lines up and ready. They have no more timeouts. It's 3rd and 6 from the 23.
You know, they have to get the ball in the end zone or out of bounds. They don't want to have to rush this kid.
They have made their decision. Cowboys coming on a blitz. Deep for Ernest Gray. Everson Walls back there with him. And whether we play more or whether we stay for a while is all in the hands now of the holder, Scott Brunner, and the kicker, Joe Danilo. It's a lonely feeling.
You've been there before. I'll tell you one thing, though. You know, cornerbacks, kickers, quarterbacks, whatever happens, they have to get that last one out of their mind, erase it, because every play is a new one.
Danilo from 40 yards away. He'll either make himself a lot of friends or nobody will speak to him for the rest of the year.
Right hash mark. Miguel Septien, what he's thinking is we need one more completion for about 25 yards. What's the end of this? Again, it's a zone. They end up double. Everyone goes up for the ball. Boom, knocked out of bounds.
I can't believe they only used 1 second on that play.
Well, that's what the Giants were all pointing to the clock and saying that the clock didn't start when the ball was snapped. I think they're going to run some time off here. Let's listen. Pat Haggerty's going to tell us.
At 8 seconds, please.
That's exactly right. They're going to run it down to 8 seconds. Tony Hill talking to Danny White, saying, I can get some room. Perhaps one play, John, and they need a considerable amount of yardage to get in Septien's range.
They need about 25 yards. If they could complete or make the play here 25 yards, they'd have a very good shot at a field goal.
They got a lot of timeouts, all of them, in fact. 8 seconds on the clock. White steps away. Does have the time. Caught by Dorsett. And quickly they ask for a timeout, but that's it. We'll go into overtime.
Oh, this is what it's all about.
This is why we came and why they keep selling out.
You know, the Cowboys are complaining, but you know, at the 2-minute, you get to designate 2 people that can call timeout. And if it's not one of those 2, anyone else, it doesn't count.
Cowboys gathering around Landry, and the same thing is happening on the other side of the field. They're asking to come out and toss the coin. The referees are coming over to the side to see what's going on. I believe it's Ernie Stautner talking to one of the officials right there to find out. I don't know what information he's asking for.
This will be an interesting decision, though. You know, if you win the toss, do you kick with the wind in overtime, or do you take the ball? I would think if I were the Cowboys, I'd take the ball. If I were the Giants, I'd kick with the wind and let my defense win the game for me.
That's what they did at the beginning of the game.
Call a coin in the air, please.
At Haggerty.
Tails, he calls. Tails it is.
Now let's see the choice.
Looks like the Cowboys are going to take the win and kick off.
You can see from Randy White's jersey how fast and how hard the wind is blowing.
Won the toss and will defend this goal over here. Okay.
So that
means he'll kick off.
That was an interesting decision. The Cowboys won the toss and elected to kick off.
Is the Giants 10, Dallas 10, and we're headed into overtime.
It is entirely possible that the 3 words parents fear most are some assembly required. So we'd just like you to know that you can easily attach an exciting Atari home video game to your television set in under 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. When you think about that, it's not surprising that Atari makes the world's most popular video game.
Nobody has to tell me to get on the stick. With the wide stick, I don't waste time or money. See, Speed Stick deodorant is so much wider than the other leading stick. Gives you effective protection in just a few strokes. And if you've been using an aerosol, look, you'd use up 2 3-ounce sprays and start a third before you'd use up 1 2.5-ounce Speed Stick. So get on the stick.
Makes sense.
The Wide Stick Speed Stick deodorant.
By Menon. Dial it has national sports news. It's more than rational just to call National Sports for all the latest reports. We're talking national sports news. We've got it all. 900. What a wonderful call. 900-976-1313.
At 50 cents a call, I keep up on sports.
Dial it. We're talking to you.
Holiday greetings from CBS Sports with a great lineup of events beginning Christmas Day. First, it's the Blue-Gray All-Star Classic, a top showcase for college seniors. Then, it's fast-paced NBA action as the red-hot LA Lakers take aim at the Phoenix Suns. Saturday, it's an exciting college football-basketball doubleheader. First, the Sun Bowl, where the Oklahoma Sooners with the nation's #1 rushing offense meet the tough Houston Cougars. Then it's NCAA basketball, when the Louisville Cardinals take on Ray Myers' DePaul Blue Demons, 2 top 10 teams in action. Sunday, top off your Christmas cheer with the start of the NFL playoffs, the NFC Wild Card game. Down the field and on the court, a great holiday package of pro and college action. Season's greetings from CBS Sports.
Because we're going into overtime, we're running into those basketball games, but we'll join them as soon as this football game is over. And what a dandy it's been.
All these fans down here are waving to you, Pat. I think they remember that one that you kicked against Cleveland when the score was tied 10-10.
That's right.
It was over 50 yards. Didn't Vince Lombardi say to you, there's no way that you can do that after you did it?
Exactly right. Some of these fans don't look quite old enough to remember that.
Yeah, but they've had those seats for that long.
That's true.
Because to be sitting in these seats in front of us, you had to be a giant ticket holder for at least 30 years.
Ball again blows off the tee. It's been 18 long years for these fans and the Giant players. None of them have been here that long, but it's been 18 years since the Chicago Bears beat them in the championship game at Wrigley Field. That the Giants have been in the playoffs.
I'll tell you, I know one man that's real happy with this because I saw him before the game. I'm sure we both did. Wellington Merritt.
Right.
He's been through this, and he deserves everything that they get.
Some problem between the official and Thurman and Septien. Hope it's not serious.
Septien is teaching Thurman how he wants that ball held. Not too much pressure, he says. Don't push down on it too hard. Let it go when I kick it.
Leon Bright, who almost broke one earlier. Septien hits this one better, but Bright will field it, fumbled it, bobbled it at the 2. Bright being chased and around the corner again. Penalty marker down way back inside the 10-yard line. Perry is going to be called for clipping or hitting in the back or whatever.
Or one of those blocking above the waist from the back, so it's going to be against Leon Perry.
Clipping, number 30 on the return.
That's one thing that I'm sure the Giants didn't want, is to get backed up here. It's obvious they didn't want the penalty, but they wanted to get the ball outside of the 20. Watch it on the right side of the picture. We'll see it coming in right here at the end. You see right there coming in right now. He just hits him right in the back. That's why I used to always say, if you can read their name, don't block.
Another coaching point.
Jimmy the Greek was here with us, Pat, and he said that the percentages are the team that kicks off in overtime usually wins the game.
Anybody would know. 10-10 in overtime. Brunner to Carpenter. Carpenter broke one tackle, still fights. He's tough to get down. Mike Downs is the one who held him upright first, and then he got some help from the people in blue. Bob Brennig the first one there. No question, it must be down in the teens now. The wind still blows. Carpenter got 5 yards. Move it out to the 10, 2nd and 5. They need a first down to get out of the danger zone here. Dennis Gray out wide to the right. Emerson Walls out there with him. Shirt in motion. Brunner will throw. Looks left. Mike Freedy in and out of his hands. Dennis Thurman.
I think that's why it was in and out of Freedy's hands, because of Dennis Thurman. All the talk about Emerson Walls and the rookies and so on. Dennis Thurman has moved out here, and he's done an outstanding job as a right
He's going to say it again in a minute, so maybe he'll remember.
It's got a big play. That's in this year.
Illegal use of the hands, pushing in the middle of the back. Number 27, first down.
Pushing in the middle of the back. Boy, that's...
Not even get it right down to the exact spot. In the middle, not high, not low. Right in the middle we got.
That's being alert. First down, Cowboys, their own 40. Dorsett and Springs still the runner. His word, Landry has left Dorsett in the whole game. White fakes. They're at the work. Springs has it. Carson takes him out of bounds after a gain of 8.
One thing that's obvious this second half is the Giant pass rush isn't getting close to Danny White like they did in the first half, and or maybe the Cowboy protection is much better in the second half. This one is done off a play fake. You see it's from the I formation. Springs is the first back. Dorsett is the second back. He sneaks Springs through and then out to the right flat.
Second and 2 from the 48. Double tight end setup. Pitch back to Dorsett. Dorsett can't find the handle and the Giants have it. Lawrence Taylor. Giants have the football.
Listen to this stadium. This place is rocking, Pat.
Dorsett had a chance to get it back, but it squirted away from him again, and Lawrence Taylor came up with it.
Dorsett has been having fumbling problems the last 2 weeks. It's the second one this game. Last week he had 3, but they were able to fall on it. Look, he just can't find the handle on it. He had it, he lost it, and right there at the end it popped out again for the 3rd time.
And so the Giants need a couple of first downs. We're in overtime, and Danilo better start getting loose again. Carpenter, backed up by Heckman right at the line of scrimmage. Turnovers for each team all day. By the way, if we didn't say, and I can't remember really, each team has 2 timeouts in the overtime period.
That's right, and of course it is just a 15-minute overtime. It's really not sudden death. This game could possibly end up in a tie.
Second and 10. Carpenter held for no gain. Bruner still got the football. Nobody knows it. Scott Bruner inside the 20 to the 17. He fooled everybody.
I wonder where they came up with that play. That's one that they had to be saving for a long, long time. That's what you call a naked bootleg. Watch this. Both backs will start out to the right. Both backs go to the right. There's no one leading for Bruner. He just kept the ball, and look at all that green out there until Dennis Thurman arrived.
I wonder if Bruner told anybody he was going to keep it.
Probably not, other than Perkins told him.
23 yards on the bootleg by Bruner.
That was a heck of a call.
Oh, wow. Bruner pitch back Perry. Guy Brown tripped him up. Would you go ahead and take the field goal now?
No, I wouldn't. No, not with this much time and in this weather. I wouldn't. I may do it on 3rd down. Now again, when you do it on 3rd down, the only thing that helps is it helps if you fumble the snap or you have a bad snap. If you get the kickoff, you don't get to kick it again if you miss it. You know, we said earlier that if the Giants win this game and eventually get into the playoffs, they'll earn it, and they're earning it today.
Perry and Carpenter, 3 tight ends, 2 of them on the right side. Handoff Carpenter. He just hurdles over the middle. Gets down to about the 16 perhaps. Guy Brown again, the tackler. And here comes Danilo on 3rd down as we speculated.
On 3rd down, I think that's a smart play because, again, if anything goes wrong, you still have 4th down to try it again.
30-second clock has resumed ticking. Let's see, how far out will he be? About 33 yards.
33 yards, exactly.
He is hit from 40.
push it like he did on one of them.
No good. No good. No good.
Ray Perkins is saying, what do you have to do? That one hit the upright. Well, this has been a tough day for Joe Danello. Bunch of Cowboys are all waving their arms, trying to distract him. Again, he gets it out, and you know, he pushed it again a little too much, and it just hit that right upright.
Hit the inside of the upright on the right side.
You talk about a game of inches. Watch Ray Perkins.
I think you know what he said. First down, Dallas. They give to Dorsett. Dorsett gets a couple. Brian Kelly made the stop. Let's go back and look at Danello's field goal again that hits the upright.
From the left hash mark, you know, he has to push it out a little, but this one just went too much. Watch it. It hit the inside of the right upright.
Probably another inch to the left. Even if it hit the upright, it would have bounced through. Like you said, it's a game of inches. Second down and 8 for Dallas on their own 22. Ritz is on. Fumble is on. Scramble is on.
I think the Cowboys ended up with it, though.
Yes, Cowboys got it.
These fans, they're living every one of these plays. That was a safety blitz. I think we'll see Bill Courier coming, number 29. Watch it from the outside of the screen, outside of Taylor, right there. See, he comes, he grabs Danny White first from behind him. As he grabs it, he strips the ball out of his hand.
Tony Dorsett made the recovery.
Tony Dorsett says, I have to do something well. I haven't. It's been a long day for me today. At least I can jump on a fumbled ball.
He had lost a couple himself. 3rd and 15. Jones and Springs into the game. 10-12 left in overtime. From the shotgun, Danny White. Blitz again. Lawrence Taylor is there. Picked off by Byron Hunt. Still on his feet. Byron Hunt puts the Giants back in business.
Joe Danello gets another life. Danny White says, oh no, you talk about what? Watch this though, what caused it? What? From the right, we'll see Lawrence Taylor, a rookie. He comes, he flushes White out, and now who intercepts the ball? The rookie linebacker from the other side, Byron White. Byron Hunt. You know, these two guys are really going to be linebackers in the future for this team.
They both are big. They both are very quick. From the 25, 1st and 10 Giants. 9:57 left in overtime, and have you seen that sight before? Renner gives Carpenter a yard. And Jones.
You know, I would do one thing for Joe Danello here. If I'm going to play for a field goal, instead of putting it on the left hash mark where he has to push it, or putting it on the right hash mark where he has to hook it, I would put the ball by running it right in the middle of the field.
I know he'd appreciate that. 2nd and 8. Pitch back to Carpenter, nothing doing. Ed Jones hit him behind the line of scrimmage. Gordon King disgusted with himself. A Giant is down. Rob Carpenter, I think. That's who it is.
He's had a full day's work, this guy. a little flip. Boom. He really didn't get started, and it looked like as someone was coming by him, Harvey Martin may have kicked him in the head.
Got his knee. Looked like it could have been in the head and also in the middle of the back. So it'll be third down, Giants. Now do you go ahead and kick it on third down?
No, I wouldn't. I would still run one more play to the left to get the ball right in the middle of the field.
Scott Brunner has been over to talk.
We'll watch his last kick again, and we'll see what happened from the left hash mark. He had to push the ball a little from that hash mark, and he did it. He over-adjusted a little too much.
Rob Carpenter has carried the ball 28 times, and he's still down. There's Danilo. He's missed 3, hit 1 to send the game in overtime. Forget that the Giants, who've had a lot of people nicked today, including Carpenter, at whom you look right now, even if they make the playoffs, they have to play next week. First of all, let's take care of tomorrow's business. Tampa Bay at Detroit, Green Bay at the Jets, St. Louis at Philadelphia, the 49ers at New Orleans, and Washington at Los Angeles. The NFL Today will begin it. Bring you highlights of what happens today. There's been a lot in this game, and sure a lot more tomorrow.
Anytime that a player gets a head or neck injury, they're very, very safe. They keep them on the ground as long as they can. Now watch right there at the end when Harvey Martin came across. They're just getting Rob Carpenter out now.
He's a little woozy at the moment.
The knees, that's how you can tell.
But there can be something fortunate about that. It is that the knees look like they're functioning okay, except wobbling a bit. It'll be third down and 11 from the 26. And Brunner has gotten his instructions from Ray Perkins. They did not use a timeout. They still have 2. 3 wide receivers. Brunner under the center. Mistler in motion. Brunner fires to the right. He has Mistler, and Mistler gets out of bounds. Once again, Danilo will have a shot but from the right hash mark.
And the last one that he missed was from the left hash mark. He had to put this one, he'll have to bring it in a little hook in it. Which is like the first one he
weekend of football in New York, like what is coming up. And we got it off to a pretty good start, didn't we? Again, Joe Danilo. What happened to him? He's missed 3 times already.
It's free, and that's why they have to be able to put that out of his mind. He did. He looks first to his holder, says, "Great hole, Scott. Thank you, my man." And then the next guy in is who? It's the center. It's the guy that snapped the ball, number 59, Ed McClassic.
Those are the 3 that have to get it done. It's not a one-man act by any means.
There's the center. He's as happy as the holder and the kicker were.
And Lawrence Taylor again excelled today. You see that sign. And I think you're right. The crowd still doesn't want to leave.
No, they won't leave. They're going to stay here for a week, have a little party.
Let me tell you who's responsible for this afternoon. Charles Milton III, you saw, Terry O'Neill, the producer, Sandy Grossman, the director, associate producer Joan Vitrano, and the rest of our Emmy Award-winning crew, led by Lou Scanna. Congratulations to them. So it's New York Giants 13, Dallas 10. Now this is Pat Summerall for John Madden saying so long from the Giants Stadium. Once again, the final score, Giants 13, Dallas 10. Tomorrow, the NFL Today kicks off the final weekend of the regular season's play at 12:30 Eastern Time. Then 2 playoff series are on the line when Green Bay Packers meet the New York Jets and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Detroit Lions, plus other regional games. Next on CBS Sports, it's NCAA basketball. You see either the University of Nevada at Las Vegas against Georgetown or Kansas State against Indiana. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
This is CBS.